Well, you're listening to Talksport's coverage of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves. Alongside me is the former Birmingham City, Wolves, West Ham defender Roger Johnson. He can't make it for this one. He's out, and I'm pleased to say that it's the super sub. It's Kev Watson, the former Spurs midfielder. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very, very good, and delighted that you've stepped into this one because we've got an absolute cracker here, haven't we? Two great stories as clubs, Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. But the key point here is all the new faces coming in. I've been doing my sums. You go back to the start of this summer transfer window, Kev. 31 new players across both squads in terms of new players on the books. Not obviously all featuring today for a variety of reasons, but still, the change at both the Bridge and the City Ground, it's profound, isn't it?
It's literally just quite remarkable. And I'm looking at the team sheets here, struggling to get your head around all these new players and how they fit in and will they fit in is the bigger story. I think they're obviously both teams in huge transitions, and it'll be interesting to see how they both go. I think this is a fascinating fixture today.
Let's go with Chelsea first of all then. All these different players coming in and out. It's a third frenetic window in a row under Todd Boehly. 380 million spent in this window. Now nearly $1 billion across the three, yet they are unchanged. I'll run through the lineup in a moment. It's the same as the Luton game 8 days ago. I guess the big one really maybe is on the bench where Cole Palmer is named, having been signed from Manchester City. Very, very exciting young striker.
He is a very exciting young striker. I'm actually surprised that Manchester City let him go, in all honesty. I thought he had a big future there. But it would appear not, and they've let him come out to Chelsea. Yes, he's only a sub today, but that generally happens when players have only been a new club a couple of days. They very, very rarely get thrown straight in to the fray, as it were. So no surprise to see him being used from the bench today, but I think what you can safely say is he will play some part.
Absolutely. So going through those teams, Chelsea, as we say, unchanged under Mauricio Pochettino. Robert Sanchez is in goal, Axel Disasi alongside Thiago Silva and Levi Colwill as the three-man rear guard, Ben Chilwell and Malo Gusto as your wing-backs, Conor Gallagher and Moises Caicedo in the engine room, Enzo Fernandez, Raheem Sterling, who's got a brilliant record against Forest and is bang in form, all supporting Nicholas Jackson up top. Bergstrom, Kukurea, Mudryk, Madueke, Ugachukwu, along with Palmer, Petrovic, Maatsen and Washington, your bench for the home team today. As for Forest, let's have a word on Forest, because it's a tough one to quantify, isn't it? They score goals, they're entertaining, but as ever for Steve Cooper, all these changes very, very hard to work through. Yeah,
really, really difficult to work through, and I think it's actually quite well known that I'm not so sure Steve Cooper has the final say on a lot of these players that come through the door, which makes it incredibly difficult. It's almost like, here's your tools, you've got to deal with those, as opposed to, I'd rather go out and buy my own tools, to be honest, if you want to do a decent job. But I think he does incredibly well with what he has. I think the fact that Morgan Gibbs-White, suitors stayed away from him this transfer window will only help Nottingham Forest in a big way. If they'd have lost him, then I think they would have been in big trouble.
The one they did lose, though, was Brennan Johnson off to Spurs, which was very, very disappointing. But 7 new faces through the door on deadline day alone. 15 in total over the summer to 16 from Chelsea. Just the one change, though, to the side that lost 3-2 to Manchester United. After leading 2-0, out goes Johnson, and Oral Mangala is fit, the Belgian midfielder, unexpectedly after injury. So Matt Turner is in goal. Willie Bowley, Joe Worrell, who was sent off but then has served his suspension in the week. He returns with Scott McKenna. Serge Aurier and Ola Aina, they're your wing-backs. Danilo, Mangala, and then Ryan Yates. Morgan Gibbs-White, who Kev mentioned there, and Taiwo Awoniyi, he's up front. Awoniyi, who could break some serious records today. We'll get into that. Don't worry, the Nigerian, over the course of our commentary. Horvath, Tavares, Koyate, Wood, Felipe, Niakate, Elanga, Montiel and Aguilera. They are your bench for Forest today. We'll tell you more about that and round up the other 3 p.m. matches about to kick off in a second on Premier League Live. You're listening to Talksport's coverage of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves. Alongside me is the former Spurs midfielder, Kev Watson. And this is Premier League Live. Players just going through their final preparations in front of us. And beautiful sunny day here in West London. Pitch looking, Kevin, pretty resplendent, isn't it, beneath us as these players just go through their final preparations.
Yeah, absolutely. All these Premier League pitches now, well, nearly all pitches in the country are a terrific standard. But this one here at Stamford Bridge is no exception to that rule. It's a beautiful playing service. They'll water it before kick-off as well, so that ball zips across the surface, and both teams like to play. We're in for a good spectacle, I think, in the West London Sun today. And
just a really quick word on Awoniyi. He's an incredible story, isn't he? Yes, there are loads of great stories in the Chelsea team, like Sterling's early season form, but the Nigerian has been utterly lights out end of last season and carried that on into this.
Yeah, he has, and he's important for them. We mentioned Gibbs White just before the break there, but he certainly is pivotal to anything they do in an attacking sense. Finished last season on fire and has started this season incredibly well also, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes today. These Nottingham Forest players will come here and they will expect to get something. I think they should expect to get something.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think that's a very fair goal for Steve Cooper's men. So this match week already, Luke 1, West Ham 2 last night. The Hammers flying high. Earlier, Toby Gillis and Trevor Stephen brought you an epic Sheffield United 2, Everton 2. All right, let's focus then back on our match. Kick-off is just over 8 minutes away. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Let's hear from our two bosses, Mauricio Pochettino and Steve Cooper.
We are happy with the squad. I don't believe that something happen in the next few hours in terms to player in. No, we are always in contact, and we are going to have good contact. I'm not going to spend time until to the end here because we need to keep energy for tomorrow. But yes, we have very good communication in between, owners and sporting director. And yes. Waiting for the thing that happened, but I think in terms to sign player, I don't believe that.
When something is going really well, I think there needs to be an absolute paranoia about not getting complacent, not taking your foot off the gas and striving to do even better. And in the end, I think that's what the real top teams, top players do, is that sort of what's gone is never enough, and I think like our work with T at the moment is to keep believing in him, is to keep supporting him, but to keep pushing him that he's got to keep this going if he can.
I think all the players that are involved in the squad are in our plan, and then like always I told you after his decision to part the club and the player, in that case always from outside Connor was a player that was a reliable player and consistent player that can perform in different positions. We are so happy with him. Another thing is circumstance or different things that happen in the past that we can say nothing.
We always have the best plans laid down for games, and it normally goes straight forward. There's always something that comes up. And the context of this week, it could be with the transfer window deadline, it could be a change of personnel with players coming and going, or maybe not. So we'll just deal with it as it comes.
Steve Cooper, before that Mauricio Pochettino, and Cooper has had to deal with this before, hasn't he? Huge numbers of faces coming in. He's done it pretty well. Can he do it again? And Pochettino just easing into this new job, and I think most feel it will be a big success over time if he's given that time. Just quickly on that, do you think he will be?
I think so, yeah. He's a proven manager. He's coming into a club, like I said before, that's in a big transition. It's a huge transitional stage for them. Will he get the time? I think so. He seems to get on with every club and supporters wherever he goes, and there's nothing to dislike about the man. So I don't think Chelsea supporters are silly, that they'll give him the time he warrants and deserves.
And pick me out in 10 seconds a very key battleground for you today that might solve this one.
I think that midfield areas are always key areas in games. I think whoever wins that battle in there, Mangala, Danilo versus Gallagher and Caicedo, will go a long way to winning their teams the game.
Okay, he used to shine in that position himself back in the day, and it's one of many enticing little battles across the pitch in front of us. Kick-off fast approaching. It's Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest right here on Premier League Live.
Number 10, Morgan gives White.
You are listening to Talksport's coverage of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me the former Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson, and this is Premier League Live. Chelsea hoping to climb potentially as high as third in the table with a win today up against the Nottingham Forest team, who've also started the campaign in solid enough fashion, but could do with another victory to just cement their early season form. both. So massively changed the squads heading in today. Tons of new signings that don't feature for either team, particularly for Forest. So for many players out there, it's an opportunity to prove, Kev, that they are the ones who should stay in this team, particularly when you are Forest. Say when you've got 7 new signings, all desperate to get in over the next few weeks, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a lot to prove. If you want to stay in the team, you've got to perform. Otherwise, these people are knocking on the door, getting fit, and you'll be out. So that's why I think Forest will come here today with a little bit to prove, individuals, early on in the season. But you look at them, they're more than capable, and I think they'll give Chelsea a run for their money.
Totally agree. To come in, the likes of Ibrahim Sangare, big signing late last night. Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course, ex-Chelsea, switched late last night as well. Nicolas Dominguez from Bologna, some really good players to supplement this Forest squad. And for Chelsea, we know all about the big spending, the depth. Just one new face from yesterday on the bench today, Cole Palmer. The starting 11 under Maurizio Pochettino, unchanged to that, that beat Luton 3-0 last time out. So, Robert Sanchez is in goal, Axel Disasi, Thiago Silva and Levi Colwill, your 3 at the back. Ben Chilwell and Malo Gusto are your wing-backs, with Moses Caicedo and Conor Gallagher in midfield. Raheem Sterling scored twice last time out, scored 2 against Forest last time they played them. He's alongside Enzo Fernandez behind Nicholas Jackson, the striker for the home side. Bergstrom, Kukureya, Mudryk, Madueke, Gachukwu, Palmer, Jordi Petrovic, Ian Matson and Washington, your bench for the home sides today. As for Forest, just the one change for the team that led 2-0 against Manchester United, eventually lost 3-2. Brennan Johnson, exciting Welsh star, has left and gone to Spurs, but Orel Mangala, the Belgian, is back from injury a little ahead of schedule. So Matt Turner's in goal, Willy Bowley, Joe Worrell, who was sent off in that game but served his suspension in the week in the Carabao Cup. He's also had a bereavement this week, but still returns with Scott McKenna at the back. He was an injury doubt as well, as was Danilo. He's in midfield with Mangala, Serge Aurier and Ola Aina. They're your wing-backs, with Ryan Yates, Morgan Gibbs-White, all supporting the informed Taiwo Awoniyi up front. Awoniyi has got various records he could break today, with Havarth, Tavares, Koyate, Wood, Felipe, Niakate, Langa, Montiel and Aguilera on the bench for Forest. Already, the ball shepherded out of play neatly by Forest for a goal kick, as Ben Chilwell gets into a forward position for Chelsea. Our referee today, by the way, is Tim Robinson. Richard West and Derek Eaton are assistants. Jared Gillett is on VAR, with Darren Cann his assistant. And yeah, just already Forest calmly getting that ball out of play.
Yeah, good defending in the end. Terrific ball, I have to say. Ben Chilwell showing intent right from the very first off.
And talking of intent, at the other end, here's Danilo for Forest. It's already been end-to-end stuff as the sun shines down at Stamford Bridge, lovely part of West London. Chelsea in their traditional all-blue tops and shorts with white socks. Nottingham Forest all red tops, white shorts and red socks with white trim. Now, it's Chelsea back on the attack again. What an opening to this game. Jackson running across as far as Fernandez, as the Argentine tries to get his shot away. Scored in the week as they won in the Carabao Cup. Low delivery! Oh, excellent block in the end. Otherwise, Chelsea would have got their opening goal through Raheem Sterling. Banging form, as we mentioned. And what a wonderful last-ditch tackle from Ola Aina, Nigerian, back on his old stomping ground. What an interception.
Well, you're right. That's a hell of a tackle from Aina to deny Raheem Sterling, who's came in off that right-hand side. Brilliant balling from Chilwell. Got to say, bright start from the hosts.
Really bright start. Minute and a half gone, Premier League Live. Chelsea corner to be taken on the far left side by Ben Chilwell. Out swinging delivery. Headed eventually clear by the veteran figure of Willy Bowley. Pumped back in by the Blues. Plucked out of the sunshine this time by the American goalkeeper from Nottingham Forest, Matt Turner, who signed from Arsenal. And a chance to be the number 1 in the Premier League. Can he take it over the coming weeks? Guess what? A new keeper signed last night. There will be pressure on him. He's just one of many examples that we highlighted. Just over 2 gone. Chelsea 0, Forest 0. Premier League Live as Mangala eases it forward. Decision is a foul by Colwill, who's not too pleased, but that decision goes Forest's way just inside their own half.
Yeah, I thought we had a bad touch there, to be fair. I'm not sure how much there was in that, but the referee sided with him and gave Forest the free kick.
Forest just slowly building forward, but Fernandez putting the away side under pressure, just under half of the stadium is bathed in shade on the far side, with the sun just beneath us. About 2/3 of it, or just under, in glorious sunshine. Not necessarily the easiest, is it, when you've got that line in the pitch?
No, it's not. It certainly isn't.
Nice play from Forest down the right, though, as far as Morgan Gibbs-White, the former Wolves man, picked out by Kev Watson as a talented man to watch. And it's Desazi who comes over and makes the interception. The Frenchman, signed from Monaco, one of the new faces who's done well, I'd say, since he's come in. Looks like he might be a key part for Chelsea in that back three.
Yeah, new, isn't it? New to him, new to the club, as are a lot of these players. It will take time to bed in.
Long throw forward from Chelsea, looking for Awani, supported by Danilo. Off the Brazilian and out for a throw. As I touched on before, about 3 or 4 members of this Forest lineup were injury concerns for the game, although have been past fit. Steve Cooper squints across to the far side, and even the fans, they're using their hands as visors, aren't they, to try and see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly right. Hot day here in West London.
And what potentially could Forest do, therefore, with a long throw out of the shaded part of the pitch into the sun? Could they use it, I wonder, to their advantage? Long throw from the far side, looking for Yates. It's over him, and in the end, Robert Sanchez, all 6'6" of him, makes a very competent claim.
Yeah, good claim. That'll settle any nerves.
He then bowled it out to Chilwell, who was hurtling forward at a rate of knots. He was dispossessed. The ball then ricocheted off another jersey and back, putting Forest slightly unexpectedly under pressure for a second. But Turner equal to it downfield, kept in play bang on halfway on the far side by Chelsea. Appeals for a foul. I think there probably would have been one, but referee Robinson had a really good view. He was happy just to play the advantage and allow Chelsea to continue with the ball. Conor Gallagher has dropped back, almost kind of supplementing that rear guard for a second as he eases the ball forward, as we know, on loan to great effect at Crystal Palace a season or so ago. Mixed time at times, but a very talented player. Popular one from the Chelsea Academy. Nearly left for Spurs yesterday, and he's just been dispossessed. Tried to overplay there, Conor Gallagher. Gibbs-White picking his pocket as far as Awani. Awani looking downfield and seeing that options were somewhat limited. Goes back to the Scott McKenna. Again, fit despite an injury concern. Forest will build from the back once more, but just for a second, Conor Gallagher overdid it and put his team into trouble. We'll get the take of Kevin Watson on that in a moment, because Chelsea are counter-attacking again through the red-hot Raheem Sterling infield. Excellent interception, and boy was that needed from Willie Bowling, the former Wolves man, twice already in this game, once with a headed clearance and once there on the floor. Has made very important interceptions to keep Chelsea at bay.
But certainly looking to play out Forest, taking liberties on the edge of their own box there. And Chelsea at any given point are trying to press them high up the pitch.
Yeah, appeal for a potential free kick with Yates on Fernandes. Fernandes has gone down rolling around. I just thought that was a fairly forthright challenge.
Yeah, it's not a foul at all. You're not going to get anything for that.
There's the youngster Gusto, the 20-year-old Frenchman, manages to win the throw, playing the ball off McKenna to come and make the challenge to prevent Raheem Sterling keeping the ball in play. Quickly taken throw by Chelsea. Yates is equal to it, trickles back out of play for another Chelsea throw, which the former Lyon man Gusto will take, wearing 27. Of course, Reece James, the club captain, absent, injured at the moment. Various new names in, as we well know. Gusto, that perfect example from Chelsea to try and make a statement moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely right. The positions for him, Reece James being out for a while. He's got to stake his claim for a permanent job there, permanent role there.
Remember the 16 new faces in at Chelsea over the course of the window, the 15 at Forest. Some big players out, not so much from Forest's point of view, but certainly from Chelsea's. We've lost the likes of Havertz, Kovacic, Loftus-Cheek, Mount, Pulisic, Lukaku, Hudson-Odoi, Koulibaly, Mendy, Aubameyang, Azpilicueta, Conte, Kepa, Ziyech. It's all change, isn't it?
Just a couple of them.
All change these days. Ball headed on, looking for Awani. Oh, nearly fell to the 26-year-old. Just for a second, Chelsea slightly reticent in and around their own penalty spot. Awani would have loved to have made them pay, but the 3-man rear guard got the ball back to goalkeeper Sanchez, And now he bowls it out. Chelsea counter again. Forest having gone forward, stretched slightly in midfield as Sterling twists, turns, deflected cross, spirals high into the sunshine from Gusto. Again, it's an easy claim for the former New England man, Matt Turner. Goal for Nottingham Forest, but a warning there: if Forest push up, if they lose the ball, look how quickly Chelsea can counter.
Yeah, there was a real big hole in the middle of the pitch there, and it was Caicedo that benefited from it, driving forward, releasing Sterling, and in the end he just couldn't sort his feet out. It was good defending. You'd expect Raheem Sterling to do better there. It was an overlap that he didn't use.
Awani tried to flick that one on. Gibbs White did well under pressure to at least keep hold of the ball and play it back as far as Mangala. But a couple of goals elsewhere. It is still 0-0 Man City Fulham, but goals in our other two games involving Burnley and Spurs and Brentford and Bournemouth. We'll take you to both of those in just a second. Here though, Forest try to work their way forward through the same man, Morgan Gibbs White again. Started the season well, as Kev Watson said. He's linked with moves elsewhere, but only Brennan Johnson of the serious big names going elsewhere from Forest to add to all those coming in. Here's Danilo. Ball played forward, takes a little ricochet, and it's the veteran Brazilian Thiago Silva from the Paris Saint-Germain man. He's probably 40 years old these days. He's happy to poke the ball downfield. Run in midfield by Joe Worrell, the skipper for Forest, and Forest want a decision to go their way. Chelsea want the decision their way. Both sets of players and fans hotly contesting that one. Then a Chelsea player in Gallagher goes over after a collision with Yates. It's all boiling over suddenly, Kevin.
Yeah, it is. I think the ref could have blown up a couple of times there, but didn't let it go. Players getting more and more frustrated. It was only going to end one way, and I would say not unusual for Ryan Yates to stick his foot in.
Yeah, we've had one or two games, haven't we, over the last season or so, where things have got a little bit tasty. Let's take you to those goals elsewhere then. First of all, Burnley Spurs. Which way's this one gone? At Turf Moor for Matt Drapple.
Run comes forward from Koleosho, wrong side of Porro. Koleosho looking for the byline, back across goal and rolled into the bottom right hand corner. Fantastically worked from back to front, and Lyle Foster the beneficiary.
Wow, Burnley with an early lead. We didn't necessarily see that one coming, did we?
No, we didn't. Absolutely not.
Wow. We'll tell you about that Brentford-Bournemouth goal in a second. We'll leave you on tenterhooks, but there's been one on the banks of the Thames just along the river from here. Still goalless Man City Fulham earlier, in case you missed it. Luton 1, West Ham 2 last night, and Sheffield United Everton 2. 2-2 between the Blades and the Toffees. What a game that was for Toby Gillis and for Trevor Stephen. Iofi is saying that London's best club is still Chelsea, despite their ups and downs of recent times. Adam at Talksport Live saying, I wonder if the media will say that City had it easy, like they did when Paulinho missed that Arsenal game last season. I wouldn't say so, Adam. I think we're trying to be open-minded about all of these things. Jamie, listening to you guys with my wife Lindsay while driving to our daughter's soccer game, hoping for a Chelsea win today. Cheers. That's Amy Sachada. I wonder if Jamie's going to get a win for his boys today. It's been an intriguing opening, hasn't it?
It has. Pretty even, I would say. Drinks break as we speak. As we said, it's hot. Referee undergoing some running repairs to his equipment. We often see that. Obviously, it's fouled again. Earpiece or something like that. They can't continue without it. So he's just getting his equipment strapped back to his arm there.
Knots for the first time, as Kev says. That's the pause, so all the players get a bit of a drink, and it is hot out there with that sun bearing down on these first couple of days of September. Referee is now sorted technically, Tim Robinson, and we will get back underway in a second. We can though take you to Brentford versus Bournemouth. Which way is this one gone for Andrew Self?
Jensen in under the crossbar. What a save! Has it gone behind the line? No, the little wristwatch didn't say it was a goal. Good save that was from Neto. That's a cheeky effort there from Jensen. Oh, now he's got the shout. It's gone in.
Has gone in. Brentford lead, and as you said, they really are looking like the business this season, aren't they, under Thomas Frank?
Yeah, they are very, very strong at home, Brentford. And it doesn't matter who that's against either.
Absolutely.
You go there, you know you're getting a game.
It's been given as a Jensen goal. And Foster, as we heard, the scorer for Burnley. And the other two goals elsewhere in our 3 p.m. kickoffs. Here at the Bridge, though, back underway. 12 gone on Premier League Live. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0. We can safely say after that lengthy delay with the technical issues that There'll be plenty of first half injury time, mate.
Yes, there will. Yeah, there will. It's the way the game's going now.
Probably would have been anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even know where they've pulled it from, but you're probably talking at least 5 minutes in added onto every half, if not more.
Hooked over the top by Mrs. Caicedo, as we well know, £115 million signing. The Ecuadorian for Chelsea from Brighton. Awful lot of money, isn't it? It's going to be a huge ask to prove that you're worth anything like that over time.
Absolutely, it is a vast amount of cash, isn't it?
I guess you can say that it's not his fault that that's the price tag on his head, but as we know, they're giving away a penalty. And he came on in that game a couple of matches ago against West Ham. Chelsea back on the attack here. This is nice. Gallagher to Sterling. Through as far as Jackson. He just couldn't quite control it, Nicholas Jackson. Lovely build-up play from the two players I mentioned prior. Senegalese should have done better.
Sterling's been bright at the start of this game, I have to say. His teammates let him down with his touch there, but Bright off the side, here he goes again.
Yeah, Forrester giving the ball away once more, but well done Scott McKenna, right by his own corner flag in his near right-hand side. Made a really, really good challenge. And when he trips on the ball, but as he falls, does enough to at least guide it away from Fernandes. Still picked up by Chelsea and Conor Gallagher. He's got to go all the way back, though, as far as Malo Gusto. And Chelsea have to come again. And when he on the floor fighting three Chelsea players and actually did quite well after he trod on it in the first place.
Yeah, he did. Again, his touch let him down. He's just got to tidy up with his touch a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, would agree with that. Another lovely through ball though from Chelsea, looking for that opening goal, and it's just played across the corridor of uncertainty on the edge of the 6-yard area. No Chelsea player maybe truly put that burst of speed in, truly believed that they could hunt it down. It was a great cross from the left-hand side from Chilwell. Nobody on it. Forrest was stretched and Chelsea could not make them pay.
Yeah, I think he's got to pull that back. I don't think the forward was ever going to get on the end of that, Ben Chilwell. Done brilliant to get in there, great run, and then just go calm and pick out the right man. And I think he just hurried his pass a little bit.
Possibly the issue there. Just fancied the idea of tantalisingly playing it just in front of the keeper. Nobody could quite scurry into the position that was required. Still, Chelsea come again. Unswayed by that as Sterling plays on the edge of the penalty area to Jackson, who's got Bolly on him. But he turns and keeps the move going. Gallagher, Sterling, Fernandes, all exchanging passes. Gusto involved as well. Chelsea still working the ball on the right edge of the Nottingham Forest penalty area. Turn from Fernandes, interception but only partially cleared. Gallagher pulls the trigger just wide from Conor Gallagher, looking for his first of the season. As I mentioned, nearly left the club last night. Spurs among a couple of teams very, very interested. He stayed and he nearly scored.
Really good. For a minute I thought he was thinking about pulling the trigger with the outside of his right foot, just there, and then he shifts it onto his left. You can see what he's trying to do, just arrow it towards that far top corner. He's unlucky in the end, Conor Gallagher. Good strike.
Good effort from Gallagher. Nearly 16 gone. Chelsea 0, Forest 0 here on Premier League Live. Keep your tweets coming in at Talksport Live. Here's Morgan Gibbs-White, tries to chest the ball down. Appeals from Chelsea that maybe it just caught the upper part of his arm. Either way, the Blues come up with the ball through the ever industrious Gusto already. Showing great gusto as he bursts down the flank, but Ola Aina, as we mentioned, came through as a youngster here at the bridge before moving on. Nigerian with a good sliding tackle. Couldn't prevent a Chelsea throw though, taken quickly. Gallagher as far as Jackson. Infield to Fernandes. Little bit messy in the end. Gallagher goes down as if he's been fouled by Awani, but to me that again was just a sturdy challenge.
It was. Awani's just got to liven up a little bit. He's on his toes at the moment, Awani. His team need him to protect it when they clear it, when they get it up to him.
Bolly with a good interception there. Through as far as Danilo. And a tough challenge on the other side of things from Caicedo. One of the reasons that, of course, Chelsea paid so much money to Brighton for the Ecuadorian. But Chelsea then give it away. This has been scrappy. Gibbs-White cuts inside his man. Gallagher brings him down. Could have easily maybe been a cynical yellow card for Conor Gallagher. Gibbs-White cut in. The midfielder trailed a leg. It's a free kick and no more. What do you make of this?
Yeah, he stopped him in his tracks, hasn't he? Again, I think that's all just very submissive, whatever you think on the day. Subjective, should I say.
Yeah, between Gusto and Gallagher, neither exactly covered themselves in glory there, but Gibbs White, you highlighted him, ball at foot, head up. He's a proper threat, isn't he?
He is, yeah, he is. Those forward players, him and Awani, can certainly be a threat to Chelsea today. They just need to stay in possession of the ball long enough.
Another
to
goal
use those
in,
boys.
Absolutely, in the Burnley-Spurs game. That was 1-0 Burnley. There's been an equaliser. We'll go there in a moment. Brentford still lead Bournemouth 1-0. Still goalless between Man City, the champions, and Fulham. Earlier 2-2 Sheffield United, Everton. What a finish that was. And Luton 1, West Ham 2 last night. To come at 5:30 UK. Tom and David will guide you through Brighton versus Newcastle. Finally, the free kick can be taken about 35 yards out from a central position for Forest. Gibbs White takes it. And just over hits it. Gets caught on a little bit of a breeze. And in the end, floats out of play. Worrell can't get there. Goal kick Chelsea. Let's take you back to Turf Moor.
Porro whipped forward towards Son. A good looking ball which Son plucks out the sky. Solomon for company. It's Solomon and Son versus the back line of Burnley into Son, dinked over Trafford, and just like that, Spurs have found an equaliser.
Matt Drabble, great work, your commentator there, and normal service that you predicted maybe being resumed. Can't speak too soon as a former Tottenham man.
No, you can't. You can't. It did look, we had the goal on our monitors there, it did look incredibly easy for Tottenham to break down that Burnley back line just with one pass, really. Great finish, I have to say, but yeah, too easy. If you're Burnley and Vincent Kompany, you'd like to think there's going to be an inquest about how that happened so easily.
Such a great defender in your own time, and you've tried to pride yourself on a strong defensive standpoint. Absolutely. Here come Chelsea here, casting down the right hand side, and again Forest just a little lackadaisical as they surrendered possession and didn't show a massive amount of urgency in trying to win it back, maybe conserving energy, maybe tiring already, who knows. There's a clash of heads between, I think it was Yates and certainly Enzo Fernandez as both players went up. Indeed it was, just on the edge of the Forest penalty area. I think Enzo is absolutely fine. The World Cup winner is pretty much hard as nails, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Yates again. Eyes on the ball, heads the ball, but then just careers into Fernandez afterwards, and he'll have a little bump on his head, I'm sure, but it's nothing too serious.
He is absolutely fine, and already he's barking out some orders, making sure that the rest of his team are where he would like. Quickly taken ball from Forest, and I'm not entirely sure that Matt Turner was necessarily quite expecting that back from his captain Worrell in the manner that he was. They got away with it, not the ball downfield, but it was just a little bit jittery and indecisive.
It was, and it amazes me how so many teams get carried away. We've got to play out, we've got to play out. There's a time and a place, and when you're being pressed in, just bypass that press. There's no need to try and play out, and the amount of times teams get robbed of the ball and it ends up in their net is absolutely frightening. It's staggering in my opinion. You can't play out all the time. You're not all Manchester City or Arsenal.
It seems to be the doctrine that so many teams try to employ. As Chelsea try to play out from the back, they're in trouble now. Here's Awani. Nearly found Morgan Gibbs White. Chelsea's turn this time to try and be a little bit too clever. Forest intercepted. Awani nearly found his fellow striker, couldn't get his shot away, and again Forest press forward, leaves some gaps for Chelsea at the other end. Great opportunity. Raheem Sterling's tantalising through ball. I think it was Chilwell who ran across and couldn't quite make contact. Forest stretch Chelsea. It was Ben Chilwell with a golden chance to go ahead. Could not find the back of the net, or indeed the target.
It was good pick out from Sterling again. Rolls it through Ayena's legs across the box. Chilwell, I'm not sure what he's doing up there, but he makes what is like a centre forwards run. Into out, comes back across the defender, and it's just on his wrong foot, and he's trying to guide it into the far post but doesn't get enough on it. But it's a good Chelsea break. Sterling's been at the heart of everything good they've done so far this afternoon.
I believe he popped up there as the centre forward, basically Ben Chilwell. He is captain for the day, by the way, we should say, for Chelsea as well. So a player who's had his issues at times with form, fitness. He's someone who at the moment, and he wouldn't be alone, Raheem Sterling would be another, really seems to be shining under Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah, he's a good player, Russ. I like Ben Chilwell. He always has been a good player. Everyone goes through dips in form, but he certainly bounced back. He's actually vice captain, isn't he? But Reece James is out injured.
Exactly.
So again, he's got to step up to the plate, be a leader of your team now. Lead by example, even if you're not a big shouter or a talker. which I don't know whether he is or isn't, but lead by example on the pitch.
Aurier's first flow was blocked, but Chelsea did lose a couple of yards. Bolly takes the next throw for Nottingham Forest, and it's a big, deep ball, hoiked downfield by Forest, but it's overhit, and it's safely to the feet of Robert Sanchez, the Chelsea goalkeeper, under pressure, just about gets rid of the ball, but again, Gibbs White was trying to close the Spaniard down and put him under all sorts of pressure. Chelsea beat the press, get away with it. Fernandez, who nominally we thought would play as one of two behind the front man, he's dropped deep in a fair amount of this game to try and win that battle in the engine room that you highlighted being key. He's almost been employed as that extra man there at times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has, yeah.
Gusto, under pressure from Nina. He goes infield. 23 gone, so pretty much exactly halfway through the first half here on Premier League Live. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0. If you're listening around the world at Talksport Live, keep those tweets coming in. Was Conor Gallagher fouled? He's gone flying, convinced that he was brought down. To be fair, the referee was right on top of the incident after clashing with Serge Aurier. He was having none of it, saying the Ivorian made a fair challenge. It's Aurier up against Gallagher again on the left-hand side. Yates now up against Fernandez, and suddenly both sets of players are fighting so hard for the ball. Sliding in this time is Colwill. Ball ricochets up into the air after the ferocity of the challenge, and it's like a hot potato out there, isn't it?
It is. It's, on the whole, it's been a fairly scrappy 24 minutes. We've had a couple of half-decent chances that have fell to Chelsea, but in terms of good football, it has been pretty scrappy in terms of it being a Premier League game.
Turner, big clearance downfield. At times, ball at foot, when we had a brief few opportunities with Arsenal. That was maybe his weaker area, but he's looked decent so far, and that long ball downfield has got Chelsea in trouble. Thiago Silva battling one-on-one with Awani, struggling, the pair going down, not that far from the Chelsea penalty area. The decision goes Forest's way.
And rightfully so. But that's just one ball forward. Now, if you've got someone as big and as powerful and strong as Awani, why don't you utilise that? He's up against a 37, 38-year-old defender. As good as Thiago Silva is, he looks like he's physically stronger than him. Get the ball into him quickly. There's nothing wrong with what Awani was doing there. He was just backing in. Silva couldn't contend with him, couldn't contain him, and drags him down. And all of a sudden, they've got a free kick 10 yards outside Chelsea's box. And this could be a problem for the home team.
So good ball downfield, and then good play from the front man. Sets Forest up very, very nicely. Free kick about 10 yards outside the area to the right of centre. It's in that shaded part of the pitch that we talked about earlier. And Morgan Gibbs-White will bend it in, wearing 10. Scott Ina inside him, and Danilo goes deep though. It's not a bad delivery at all. It was Thiago who got up there. McKenna guides it toward goal. Oh, and it's over the bar in the end. Two players flashing at it. One was Worrell. The other, I think, was possibly Awani, but two of them having a crack. There's a really, really good chance. Let's take a little look at the replay. McKenna across. Yeah, exactly that. Wow, not far away from Forest taking the lead.
Not far away, but you feel he's just snatched at it there. I think it's Awani in the end. Does he have time to let that ball drop to a really hittable height? Probably not. Just keep it alive, keep it in the danger area. A good chance.
Taiwo Awani looking to become the first player to score in 8 straight Premier League games since Jamie Vardy did it in October to December 2019. He scored in 9. The Forest lost 13 goals. They've all come from him. 9 out of their last 13 have been from Taiwo Awani. Absolutely incredible, including 2 against Chelsea in that run toward the end of last season in that epic 2-2 draw between the teams when Sterling got 2 for Chelsea as well. Chelsea having been on the back foot for a little while, trying to come forward here through Enzo Fernandez, but a combination of Aurier and Bolly initially won the ball, but they've lost it again, and the Blues come forward through Conor Gallagher. He's had a mixed game so far, but did nicely there to just spread the passage of play from left to right. Lightning fast turn from Sterling, but he overdid it. Good tackle from Yates, aided by Gibbs-White. And now Forest counter, 4 red jerseys surging forward, but that's a brilliant tackle from Gusto, who just got goal side of Awani, eased his body across and made a really good tackle to win that ball back.
It was a good tackle, got back really well there. Chelsea right back.
Now Chelsea back on the attack, proper end-to-end stuff. As Kev Watson said, it has been scrappy at times, but there's been a real intensity and urgency and tenacity about the game in terms of the tackles, the drive and the end-to-end nature of the action so far. I'm sure a goal is going to come, I think, on the way to this.
It should do. Famous last words though. But at the moment the ball's changing hands too quickly, too often. Chelsea have it, the loose pass, give it away. Forest have it, they'll have a loose pass, give it away. We've just got to keep hold of the ball a little bit more than they are. That's both teams.
Just need to see a little bit more composure from both. Elsewhere still, Burnley 1, Spurs 1, Brentford 1, Bournemouth 0, Man City 0, Fulham 0. Earlier 2-2 Sheffield United, Everton, Luton 1, West Ham 2. Last night to come Brighton, Newcastle, with Tom Rennie and David Connolly at 5:30 UK. Chelsea back in possession again, and once more it's Gusto, Gallagher who play the ball in field, dinked over the top looking for Jackson. He couldn't quite get there, but Danilo a bit slow out of the blocks to try and drive the ball forward for Forest, and Forest have got to be careful here gifting possession back to Chelsea. This could get dangerous.
Yeah, they are, and they're sitting in a little bit more now as well. You can see they're banked up, they've got a 5 and a 4 in front of that, and then Awani on his own up top. But this is better from Chelsea. You don't have to go forward every time you have it. Keep the ball, be patient, try and suck one out of their defensive holes that they're in.
Gusto running at Aina. Has he got around him? Oh, he's brought his man down in the head-to-head. He's trying to just dink it around his opposite number, and these two have had a really good little tussle so far, haven't they? The right wing back effectively for Chelsea against the man doing that job defensively on the left for Forest.
Yeah, it is a good battle. He's done defensively really well there, Aina. Mind you, he's telegraphed it there, Gusto. You know he was going outside him all day long.
Shannon Blythe has tweeted in, yeah, it's Russ and Kev. You know, I'm out here pounding the pavement on my latest run. Looking forward to your great commentary. Shannon from the deep south of America, listening to us as she does that very thing. Good to hear from you. Talksport Live, keep your tweets coming in, including Tim, an irritated Spurs fan from southeast Pennsylvania, trying to enjoy the commentaries across this holiday weekend in the States. He says Spurs never make it easy. And talking of never making it easy, Ben Chilwell, the Chelsea captain, has just gone into the book here.
Yeah, not sure he can have too many arguments with that. Loose first touch. Aurier nips in, takes it away from him, and he just tugs him back. And that is a yellow card and bookable offence all day long.
Sloppy stuff there from Ben Chilwell. We've seen one or two good parts of his play a little earlier in the half, but there, poor touch. He hooked out an arm. In the book. He's got to be very careful for the rest of this game. Just over half an hour played. Goalless still. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest on Premier League Live. Free kick. Gibbs-White as far as Bolly. Yates is up there. Worrell's up there. McKenna's up there. Awani's trying to turn! Oh, just wide of goal from Taiwo Awani. His best chance of the game so far, his third opportunity. Yes, his touch hasn't been brilliant at times in this match, but he's such a powerful force. He's so confident in form, and he was very, very close to getting his goal.
Do you know what? He has been frustrating, and I'm sure he's frustrating to play with, because a simple ball will go into him and he'll make a right hash of it, give it away, it'll bounce off him. But as a target man, as a focal point to your attack, that defenders cannot get anywhere near him. He's so big and strong, and I think he just lost his bearings there when he went for the old scissor kick, like side scissor kick if you like, because it's a terrific effort. I just think he lost the bearings and didn't know where the goal was.
Incredible story. He's 26, not a youngster. Came through Liverpool very early on. He's been around the houses a bit, and it's taken a while to find a home and a club that works for him. But boy, is it working. And having gone down one end and looked probing and potent, Forest have kind of poked the bear. Chelsea have come forward again. It was a good tackle there from Worrell, and then resulting clearance after Gusto. Once again, the young Frenchman made a nuisance of himself for the Blues, right in front of our vantage point here on Premier League Live. Goals flying in elsewhere. We had a couple in the Man City Fulham game. We'll bring you those in a moment. Had another in the Brentford Bournemouth game. We're still 0-0. Burnley Spurs is still 1-1. Flicked on. Thiago Silva to the left side to Chilwell. Intercepted though. Aurier as it's for Forest, bang on halfway. Good challenge though from Enzo Fernandez, who's everywhere. We talked about him pushing downfield, coming back to anchor, and they're out on the left-hand side, sticking the boot in.
Yeah, he's been really industrious, Enzo Fernandez, in his opening 32 minutes of the game, but we've not really seen a lot of him with the ball at the moment.
No, and that's to Forest credit,
yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
it?
Defensively, fantastic, putting in a real shift, but that's not his game. He needs the ball.
Yeah, one of the big signings, of course, of last season, as we say, under the Todd Bowley regime, 3 windows in. It's part of £1 billion spent on all these new faces, including the best part of 400 million in this transfer window. Really is incredible. But Sazi coming in, Jackson has a couple of the new faces, and Kunku, of course, who's injured at the moment. Sanchez in goal today, Caicedo, Chunku, who is on the bench today, Angelo Gabriel, Alex Matos, Moreira, Samuel Smith, Richards, Mia Lavia, Washington, Petrovic, you name it, all these new faces in. Some on the bench today, some in the starting lineup, some to come. Here's Sterling's delivery, much better cross this time from Raheem Sterling, and Turner had to twist, contort his body and just get a white glove in his yellow goalkeeping jersey to it, the American, and did just enough to guide it away and out for a throw. But that was a good cross and had Turner in a little bit of a kind of head spin.
He was just trying to put into a dangerous area there. Turner's done well to punch that, clear his lines, gets it away from the back post.
And 2 of the Chelsea subs starting to warm up. We'll see if 1 or 2 of those come on, including young Cole Palmer, signed from Manchester City on deadline day yesterday. £40 million, could rise to 42.5. Really good player. City's fans were gutted to lose. Chelsea's game. Talking of good young players, Gusto's been great in this game so far. To Gallagher, puts it in, cleared partially by Bolly, and Fernandez. Finally we see him in a more attacking part of the field. The Argentine on the half volley, crisply struck shot from the edge of the area, but just over the bar.
Yeah, good ball in from Gallagher. Ball finds Fernandez on the edge of the box. He's being closed down quickly, so he's got to shift it. His first touch is exquisite, and then he just leans back a little bit too much and fires it over the bar. That's the first real time we've seen him in an attacking capacity, Fernandez.
Not far away, 35 gone, Chelsea 0, Forest 0. Chelsea unbeaten in their last 9 against Forest in all competitions, haven't lost to them since January 1997. Nice turn here from Jackson, who I think was fouled but has managed to keep hold of the ball in the face of a fairly vicious onslaught from Worrell. Then Yates sends him flying, and surely Ryan Yates has to go into the book here. Hacked down by 1, kept going, then brought down again, edge of the box, and eventually referee Robinson does go to his notebook.
Yeah, it had to be. I don't know why he was actually delaying the inevitable. That's a booking. You cannot run into the back of someone. You just can't do it.
Because Jackson, he's a good player, isn't he? He's got a lot of talent, the man signed from Villarreal. It's just about, I guess, harnessing that consistently in the Premier League. But he's got a goal, and early signs positive for you?
Yeah, I think so. He's done really well there. Rode a tackle in the middle of the park, showed good balance and strength. Got away. I think he delayed his pass, and that's why he got fouled.
36 on the clock. Really good position this for Chelsea. 0-0 against Forest. It's about 28 yards out, just right of centre, so just to the right and beyond the D. Thiago Silva and Ben Chilwell, the 2 players standing over it. Will the veteran centre-half smash one, or will the full-back try and curl one in? I think it's going to be the latter. Chilwell struck it quite well, hit the wall, came back to him, flicked forward, looking for Disasi, who'd come forward, unspotted the French defender. As the ball ricocheted back, he ghosted around the back. But the move has been called back for offside. Wasn't quite what Chelsea planned, but it nearly saw their big number 2 bear down on goal.
Yeah, I think he'd rightfully been flagged as offside there. Chilwell's initial free kick was poor, smashed it into the wall, it comes back to him, and he just dabs the outside of his left foot, throws it into the box, but offside in there.
37 gone. Chelsea 0, Forest 0. We'll take you to some of those other goals elsewhere in a second. Can we bring you one here? Only game of our 3 PM UK kickoffs that hasn't had one. Jackson with a nice turn, trying to find Fernandez. Was he swatted at by Aurier? Chelsea fans feel that maybe Aurier just put an arm out and impeded the Chelsea player. Nothing given. It has been a physical match. There's been plenty from both sides, and in the end, the throw goes Nottingham Forest way. Well done, Worrell. Was Brentford 1, Bournemouth 0? Been another goal though at the Community Stadium.
Waymo, was he fouled though? I thought he was. Bobby Madley's closer than I was. Then again, he didn't see the goal. Long ball over the top. Solanke's in behind. Me goes across. Solanke wants it on his right. Fires it low. 1-1.
Solanke, the goal scorer. Andrew Salty, commentator. 1-1 there. Here's Chelsea on the attack. This is a great chance, surely for the opening goal. Great block. Really, really good block. Gallagher slicing the Forest defence wide open. Jackson, we talked about with his potent threat, and a very, very good interception. I'm pretty sure it was Worrell, the skipper, back after suspension, back after a bereavement as well, and he stood tall and slid in critical fashion. Chelsea don't score. Forest come forward. Mangala sets the platform nicely for Aurier. Sliding challenge from Chelsea was well timed, and the ball is back to the feet of Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. This is breathless, isn't it? It's still not rampack full of quality, but it's certainly end to end.
It is. I think Jackson should have got his shot off a little bit earlier. Worrell does incredibly well to get across and make the block.
Worrell again has played this one forward to Gibbs-White, looking for Awani, overhit and behind to Sanchez. Now 2 goals Man City against Fulham. We will go there as soon as the ball goes dead, but it's so frenetic here at the Bridge. Mauricio Pochettino wants plenty of intensity and high work rate, high percentage of ball in play. They get straight back underway. Chelsea are fouled here. Enzo is tugged. Will go to Man City Fulham in the first goal.
Bit of shape and purpose here. Fed to Haaland inside the area. Feeds it inside to Julian Alvarez, who finds the right-hand corner. Manchester City score right on the half-hour mark.
And Jacobs, the commentator. Alvarez with the opener for Man City. You'd think normal service resumed. Maybe not though, because this then happened.
Andreas Pereira to deliver the corner into Raul Jimenez, and it's tapped in at the back post by Tim Ream, and Fulham are level within 2 minutes from a corner that should never have been given away.
Oh, blimey. Thank you, Ben Jacobs. 1-1 Man City against Fulham. Tim Ream, of course, pretty harsh double yellow card in the red a couple of games ago. Back in the team, the American, and getting a goal. Football is a funny old game, as we know. We'll get Kev's take on some of those goals in a moment, but here still 0-0 on 40 minutes as Forest come forward through Willy Bowley. Might be advancing in years, but still such a good reader of the game, and when he gets his foot down and accelerates with that ball, he can do some damage. Infield, was that a handball off Aina? It hit Gallagher on the arm, but I think the argument is he couldn't really do much about it, and in the end, as Gibbs-White battles Sterling for the ball, free kick goes Chelsea's way, and another yellow card is brandished.
Yeah, and I think all these yellow cards at the moment, apart from the push in the back from Yates, have all been tugging people back, all been pulling people back, and you can't get away with it. Sterling was going to be away there, and Aina's pulled him back. Just don't do it.
So, Ola Aina, the latest player to go into the book. Chelsea 0, Forest 0. Man City 1, Fulham 1, as you just heard. Brentford 1, Bournemouth 1, Burnley 1, Spurs 1. Come on, my time we got a goal in our featured commentary. We normally bring you a fair few in this slot. This one entertaining, but just lacking a bit of composure and a bit of quality, I think we can safely say.
I think so.
In the attacking third.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right, Gusto for Chelsea wearing 27. To Sterling, that's a poor ball though. Aina on a yellow card. Another defender who's got to be careful, just like Chilwell, his opposite number on the other side. Awani up against Disasi. Disasi's gone down as if he's been caught in the air. Awani protests his innocence and says he was just going for the ball in the air and had eyes only for the ball. Let's have a look at the replay. There is nothing in that for me.
He's not touched him. He has not touched him whatsoever.
Awani, I think he's right to say he did nothing wrong there. We talked about how he needs a goal to match Jamie Vardy's Premier League record of 8 in 8. Can he do it today? I wonder. Oh, Gallagher caught in 2 minds there. Aina wins it. He's lucky to then win the ricochet off Gusto. Gallagher comes across and brings his man down. Conor Gallagher has got to be mightily careful here. Collides with Aina. It's a yellow card for Conor Gallagher, who has been treading a tightrope for much of this game.
Yeah, it's just so bitty, isn't it? There's no real pattern to it. There's not an awful lot happening. both teams giving the ball away as a regular occurrence. And it just hasn't got started, really. The occasional glimpse of a bit of quality, but apart from that, it's been a pretty poor spectacle, Russ.
42 and a half gone. Chelsea 0, Forest 0. That Gallagher foul is just inside Forest half. Gibbs White with another long raking free kick, headed toward goal, looking for Worrell. One in the air by Mangala to try and get rid of it quickly, and ended up slightly overhitting it, but I think that may have taken a ricochet, or has it not? Forest think it did, and that it should be a corner, but it's a Chelsea goal kick. Forest not happy about that.
Yeah, you'll have to see it again. My initial thought was the Chelsea player hit it against the Forest lad. Perhaps we're not going to get another chance to view that.
Goal kicking, we move on. Don't know what you're doing. It's the call from the fans behind the goal. Forest fans to our left in the far corner. Plenty of them making the trip down from the East Midlands, I can tell you. Not too happy. Ball headed down by Serge Aurier. He's got a serious force behind him. A couple of assists already over the course of recent games. A couple in the head-to-head fixture between these teams toward the end of last season. He never quite acquitted himself as he could have to the best of his ability during his time at Spurs, but Aurier at Forest has done well, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I was never a fan of his at Spurs, to be honest. But no, fair play to him. He's gone up there a different player.
Mina's just overdone it and lost out. Gusto did well, Gallagher did well. Through ball from Fernandes to Sterling, right edge of the box, bit of space this time for Raheem Sterling. Left, right, takes a ricochet, Worrell with the block. Sterling tried to weave his way around three Forest players, all on the right edge of the 6-yard area. Fell back to him, tried to get his shot away, and not for the first time today. Joe Worrell take a bow.
I just think it's too obvious what Sterling's doing there. He gets surrounded by three Forest players. All right, he gets his team a corner, but once you get those three players around you, roll it off to someone else. There has to be someone spare. You've just sucked three opposition players around you. There has got to be someone spare somewhere else, and he just has his head down.
Corner from Chilwell, appeals for a penalty. Chelsea player went down. I think it was Thiago Silva. It was, but play goes on. Chelsea then, through Disasi, can't get their crossing. They just delay, and Forest endeavour to counter. Chelsea were well set for a second there. Penalty appeal, and then cheaply lost possession once more, and that kind of sums it all up. Now there's an injury, two injuries, one to each team, and the ball is kicked out of play. Only the three additional. I thought there would have been more after the technical issues with the referee's radio piece earlier, but we'll now have 2 bits of treatment and a bit of a breather, Kevin Watson.
Yeah, we will. We'll then have a look at that. Thiago Silva goes down. You're not going to get a penalty for that. No chance.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Went down. I guess in real time there was a bit more speed to it, which may have made it a little more arguable, but yeah, nothing given. As the two sets of players receive a bit of treatment, Steve Cooper now has a chat to some of his subs and to his fellow coaches. What do you think Cooper's thinking at this stage of the half? They've come to the bridge, it's 0-0. They've been fairly tight, but they've not pulled the punches maybe in attack that they would have liked.
No, they haven't. They've sort of had that half chance from Awani on the swivel, where he lost his bearings. They look like they could have to be making a change here as well, Russ. Danilo down after chasing that long through ball. That can only be a hamstring, I would have thought.
Well, he was, as I say, a doubt coming in, having picked up a knock in that defeat to Man United last time out. Passed a fitness test, played, but it's been a bit of a struggle. We've not mentioned him that much in commentary, and he's been largely a very good player when he's been available for Forest across the end of last season and this. And Danilo will struggle. He's going to go off and be replaced in a couple of moments' time, so we'll have to add a couple of minutes to the additional 3. 0-0 still at Talksport Live. Bruce Chalk, Man United fan, listening on a trail run around Tucson, Arizona, like I do every Saturday. You guys do a great job with your commentary. Bruce, thank you. And a beautiful picture there of
looks amazing,
the Tucson countryside.
Really,
and yeah, the sun's just poking its head above the mountains. You've got some wispy clouds, some beautiful vegetation. Very nice indeed. At Talksport Live, Timothy Wareham across the Brentford-Bournemouth game while on a bike ride in southern Minnesota. Very nice. At Talksport Live, wherever you are, let us know. Send us a picture. We've had some crackers so far. We'll read out the best over the course of the rest of the game. And your thoughts on Chelsea and what Maurizio Pochettino's trying to do so far. Todd Bowley's ownership, players still coming in left, right and centre, leaving left, right and centre. Will the kind of scattergun approach finally work, and will Mopo be given the time he needs to rebuild all of this and have some medium-term stability at Stamford Bridge that we haven't seen for so long? And for Forest, there, very ambitious owners, sticking with Steve Cooper when under pressure, reaping their rewards with a good end to last season. And okay at the start of this, but with yet more new faces. What's their glass ceiling? What's their future, I wonder? Here's Chelsea at the other end. Chilwell across goal, looks for Sterling. Can't get there, but then controls it neatly to at least keep the attack alive. Shot blocked from Jackson. Chelsea really close there. Chilwell couldn't quite find Sterling initially, but he hooked the ball back, fed Jackson. His shot was blocked as far as Fernandes, curling effort, but it's straight at the Forest keeper Turner. He makes the save, unsighted but straight into his midriff. Chelsea blow two more. Good half chances there.
Again, it's Chilwell making a good forward run down the left-hand side. This time, really good ball into the box. Just evaded Sterling on that back post again, though. And then the chance was gone.
Now, the man on for the injured Danilo was Anthony Elanga, the Swede, of course, in from Manchester United. Quality player, as we know. Did pretty well at Old Trafford. New chance to play more, he hopes, at Forest, and he bore down but was dispossessed, got a bit excited, lost it, and we know that could be danger because here come Chelsea. Gusto in field, Gallagher, Fernandes held up well in the end by Caicedo. That's a neat turn. Was he fouled? The answer is yes. Still not seen a huge amount from Moises Caicedo in this one, but he showed good balance there as Mangala nibbled away at him. The Ecuadorian turned on the edge of the D, was fouled, and in the final few seconds of play in this first half, Kev, Chelsea got a free kick in a really, really good position.
Yeah, again, Mangala, he can't complain. I don't think it's brilliant from Caicedo. He runs across his run, which means he has to run into the back of him. It's brilliant play from the Chelsea midfielder there.
So we've played 4 additional of the 3, but of course there was the injury, the sub, and we will probably get at least this free kick in. It's a really good position for Chelsea to try and build from. Matt Turner, the American in from Arsenal, barking some instructions out at about a 7-man Nottingham Forest wall. They're desperate to keep this one out, obviously, as we tick to 50 minutes at the end of this half. Chilwell, Thiago and Fernandes all over it. What a motley crew of 3 to be staring this one down.
Yeah, this one I think maybe Fernandes from this angle.
Is it going to be his right foot? Is it going to be Thiago to smash one? No, he just walks back toward halfway. It's going to be Fernandes, takes a deflection, behind for a corner, and we will have time for the corner kick. Or will we? No, we won't. Oh, Maurizio Pochettino's frustrated. Enzo Fernandes with a right smile on his face. We're not going to have time to take the corner on the back of the free kick. Chelsea have created multiple kind of half chances over the course of the game, with Gusto lively down the right, Raheem Sterling continuing his good form, Jackson's been industrious, Fernandes has been busy, but they've not had anything like enough to really show for it. And for Forest, great on the counter at times, wide open, and Awani looking for that record equalling in one sense and record breaking in another. 8th consecutive match with a Premier League goal. Could have easily scored 3 chances, including one on the turn. It was mightily close at the break. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Premier League Live. You are listening to Talksport's coverage of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, alongside with the former Spurs midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. Forest already out, Chelsea due out in a moment, and as they've just come out now, one thing I haven't had a chance to speak to you about is the whole situation with Mo Salah. Of course, came through here at Chelsea. I remember seeing him look very sheepish and not do much in a blue shirt. How that changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, with the Saudi Pro League not shutting for another week in terms of a window, £150 million bid in from them to Liverpool for him. No, could come in the next week with 200 million. What do they say then, particularly as they can't buy a replacement?
Well, very difficult, but 31 years old, I think it's common knowledge that he perhaps wants to go. 200 million, I don't think you can stop him. I honestly don't think you can stop him. I think you've got to take the money. You can't rebuild now until, what is it, January? Or replace him, until January. But if you've got a 31-year-old that someone's willing to pay that amount of money for, as good as he is, then take it, put it in the bank, and try and replace him in January, I think.
Big week ahead. We'll watch that story very closely and see if ever there is a change to the windows to make them alive. A slight change in the German to the Premier League window was enough to see João Palhinha not leave Fulham. The 6-hour difference there pretty much stopped that one being done. Very interesting state of affairs. We are back underway here, running through the teams again in a moment. It's a forthright challenge from Forest initially and Yates. When isn't it from Yates to get things back underway? Chelsea temporarily win the ball back, but Forest come again. We'll have a good view of Serge Aurier in the second half, the right wing back, formerly of Spurs, as we know. The veteran Ivorian, who have a good view of him fouling Enzo Fernandez. In fact, Fernandez down, holding the kind of lower part of his shin, the upper part of his ankle. Is that going to be a yellow card, I wonder?
I think it probably should be, you know. If we have another look at it, he loses control of the ball. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Just grazes his opponent. He's reaching out for the ball. I don't think he makes much contact there.
No, I don't think he does. He puts his foot on top of the ball, doesn't he? Studs it, and there's nothing in it. All right, free kick. Catches him after the ball's gone. But that's all.
46 gone. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 0 on Premier League Live. Chelsea have got Robert Sanchez in goal. Axel Sazi, Thiago Silva, Levi Colwell at the back. Ben Chilwell, Malo Gusto as the wing backs. Conor Gallagher, Moses Caicedo in midfield. Enzo Fernandez, Raheem Sterling, Nicholas Jackson up top. Chelsea do now attack down the right hand side through Jackson infield. Opportunity here maybe for Fernandez, who was certainly one of the players of the first half. Not that that was necessarily hard at times. Argentine, of course, himself a triple figure signing in terms of the millions of pounds when he came in last season, but in the end, after giving him the big sell, he loses out. And here come Forest. Gibbs White did really well to win the ball and run it guilelessly downfield. Awani infield, shot from distance from Forest, and that was just wrong in every sense. Ryan Yates, we know he likes a tough tackle. Maybe don't let him shoot from 30 yards. That's still rising.
I think there was a bit of an overstatement saying a shot from I'm not sure what that was, but as soon as he pulled his foot back, I was thinking, please don't do that. You are miles out.
It was high, wide, and in no way handsome.
Oh, no.
It's finally landed. NASA's been tracking it. It is a goal kick to Chelsea. Defensive midfielders getting a nosebleed and trying to shoot from 35 yards. The odd one can do it. Fernandez, when he plays deep, can do it. Thomas Partey likes to have a good crack, doesn't he?
Some players can.
But he is not one. Here come Forest. It's opened up and it's into the corner. Beautiful rat-a-tat football from Forest. They cut Chelsea apart. Then it's slid in by Anthony Elanga, his first goal for the club. The young Swede shows poise, panache into the corner. The bridge is silenced. The Forest fans go ballistic. Chelsea 0, Forest 1.
Finally, a little bit of quality in this game. 3 minutes at the start of the second half. Chelsea caught out again, messing around with it. It's Caicedo this time. Yates knocks it on. What a lovely little ball that is. Elanga comes in off the right-hand side. Awoniyi picks it up. This is a terrific ball through Thiago Silva's legs. The touch isn't the best from Elanga. It gets stuck under his feet. But what he does really well is takes it early. And that's what catches Sanchez out in the Chelsea goal, because he takes the ball so early. The touch isn't the best, but then he opens his foot out and just places it to Sanchez's left-hand side. It's a real bit of quality. The finish, the ball from Awoniyi, and now that has put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Told you we'd have a goal.
Yeah,
you looked at me blankly in the first half. Well, you often look at me blankly, but even more that time.
I wasn't sure, but it was a bit of quality, wasn't it? Caicedo getting caught on the ball in the middle of the pitch. He's been caught again now.
Awoniyi, who got the assist for that goal with the nutmeg of Thiago, has just won the ball hands down in midfield. Great challenge. And Taiwo Awoniyi comes surging forward, and unfortunately his pass to Yates wasn't ideal. The move continues, but it was a bit ponderous and a bit backward as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. They should have done much better there. It was a good break.
But it was a good challenge, and in the end Yates just overhits it looking for the goal scorer. Yes, you're right, the goal scorer Anthony Elanga, who I quite liked at Man United. I didn't think he always got a particularly fair crack of the whip, because he played quite well, yet still be taken off because others were struggling around him.
I agree. Never really, to me, got a fair crack of the whip. But that's going to make this game interesting now, because Chelsea will have to come out. Forest decent on the counter-attack.
Very nice. So it was a mixture of Gallagher and Caicedo, who cover themselves in no glory whatsoever in midfield to lose out, and through a couple of quick short passes, Awani, Alanga, bang, 1-0 Nottingham Forest. Forest only win in 14 away games here at Chelsea. Only win ever was 2-0 in January 1995 when it comes to the Premier League era. And Chelsea respond through Jackson out as far as Gusto, and in the end the youngster was kind of off balance by the time he tried to get his cross in. Didn't have much power or direction to it, but at least it's off a Forest shirt and out for a throw to Chelsea, but that wasn't particularly pretty.
No, it wasn't.
Have a look at the replay. Jackson did turn well, to be fair, and beat two players. Bowley and Gibbs-White were both left on their uppers. That bit was nice,
Yeah,
but
I think Bowley should be booked for that, because he was tugging him. Just because Jackson's got away from him, there's an offence being committed there. You can't do that to players. It might be being a little bit cynical, but the intent was there to drag him and stop him in his tracks.
listen to the away fans a moment ago as well here at the Bridge. Big pocket away to the near left-hand side. Loving this. As I mentioned, 95 the last time they won here. We had 7 straight wins for Chelsea in this fixture, but the tide was turning last season because both games 1-1 and 2-2 were draws. But could we see, for the first time in the best part of 30 years, 28 to be precise, Forest get a win on West London Chelsea soil? Who knows?
Well, their away record last year was pretty average, to say the least, wasn't it?
It was. I'll tell you it in a minute.
However, they've got it in them, Forest. They have got big performances in them.
And they score goals, mate. That's the other key thing. They score goals.
Exactly right, yeah.
52 gone, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. They've now scored in 11 straight Premier League games, and they've scored 20 in that time, which is not bad at all.
It's just been keeping them out the other end that's been a problem, because they'll always will score goals.
They've only won 1 of 21 Premier League away games since they came back to the top flight. That's the one I think you were hinting at.
Yeah.
Here come Chelsea, lovely through ball to Chilwell across goal. Worrell again, Worrell the Warrior with another unbelievable block. Ben Chilwell can't believe it. Comes surging clear, the Chelsea captain, squares it to Jackson, who would have had a tap in on the edge of the 6-yard box. Turner wouldn't have got there. Joe Worrell, wow.
He's been brilliant at the heart of that back three, hasn't he?
He's had a great game.
He has, really has.
Chelsea coming forward again, no. Gusto, right-footed cross, that's not a bad one. Worrell wins it against Jackson. Caicedo around his man, deflected effort wide. Appeals maybe for a penalty, which is ambitious, but I think it's certainly behind for a corner, if nothing else. I wonder who made the bot. Let's have a guess. Joe Worrell?
He has honestly been outstanding.
It's been really 8 Joe Worrells in the game.
What? So that cross came in, and he was the one, that great ball in, he's the one who heads it clear. Now watch this, he actually tears out to get past people.
It's off his shoulder, but there's no way ever I think that's ever going to be given as a penalty, surely. Wow, absolutely brilliant. Bolly in the end coming to try and help him with that block right at the death. It is only a corner, taken by Chilwell. Out swinger, McKenna wins it in the air. It's still flashed across goal as far as Disasi, who's already of course opened his account for Chelsea in his fledgling season. And the young Frenchman, it just came too quickly on him, didn't it, with the ricochet?
Yeah, it did. But they're throwing their bodies on the line, Forest. They've got something to hang their hats on now. Can they see it out for the next 37 plus minutes? And we know there's going to be quite a bit added on, so you won't mind that's going to be near a 45. So they've basically got a half of football to try and hang on to this lead.
Ticking toward 54. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Man City still lead Fulham, controversially as we touched on at half-time, 2-1. Still 1-1 Brentford-Bournemouth, and there's been another goal in that Burnley-Spurs game. Spurs had come from behind to lead 2-1. We'll let you know how that other goal has gone in a couple of moments' time, but all I'll say to everyone is that Kev Watson's got a smile on his face. So I think there's a hint as to where maybe it's gone. And the big screen is showing some of the new signings for both clubs who came in yesterday, who are here watching, but of course literally having signed in some cases very, very late last night. Perfect example being Ibrahim Sangare. They're not ready yet. Sangare, by the way, stick him in that Forest team. Brilliant for PSV. Key part of the side that beat Rangers 7-3 on aggregate in Champions League qualifying. won a couple of Dutch Cups. He's a good one for 30 million.
Yeah, I think so. I think he is. But you look at this Forest team, and now they've set up today. They've not gone chasing Chelsea. They've kept a really good shape. And Chelsea have, all right, they've got in a couple of decent areas, but they've not had any clear-cut chances. Their biggest hope at the minute, Chelsea for me, is getting this ball out to Chilwell on the left-hand side. That seems to be their avenue where they've been getting in all afternoon.
Yeah, throw in Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea, of course. Lost his way slightly here, but an awfully good talent by Leverkusen on loan last season. Dominguez from Bologna, their captain, he's in. Divock Origi's back in the Premier League on loan from Italy, back at Forest. They're just some of the ones. Yeah, one up in this game as well. Let's focus back on it. Chelsea's fans very quiet. Still the Forest supporters loud and proud. What can Chelsea do here? Jackson's dropped deep to act as the playmaker. That's worked nicely. To Fernandes, to Sterling, back to Fernandes, through to Jackson. It's a cross goal and just wide. Much better interplay from Chelsea, much better between those three stars. In the end, the ball just deflects beyond Turner, but he's got time, the former Arsenal man, to scurry back and just get that ball into his grasp.
Again, it's his first touch. Jackson was talking about Awani and his first touch. That's not bad, but look at Bolly literally throwing his body in front of Jackson before he can get the strike off. Better from Fernandes, though. He's finding little pockets now.
And the ball's given away by Forest again. Yates is chasing shadows as Fernandes goes out to the far side. Early cross, but an overly ambitious early cross there from Raheem Sterling. Talked about the form he's in. He talked the talk heading into this game about a rejuvenation of his career at Chelsea this season. Today he's been a bit disappointing.
He has. He's got into some good areas. First 15-20 minutes, he was the heart of everything that Chelsea did do well. Sterling was involved in it, but he's been wasteful in possession. He's made bad decisions when he's had the ball, and again there he's not looked. The ball's come out to him, it's bouncing, he's not looked. There's nobody inside the box. He's just got to stay on it, keep on the ball, wait for your teammates to get up into the box, and he's just hit it across goal, and it's just run out for a goal kick.
At Talksport Live, Garrick says definitely not a goal in the Man City Fulham game. Clearly obstruction. It stood, mate. And Brent Parker, always good to hear from Brent in the cafe in Drummond, Montana, cooking the food for the day ahead as they listen to our commentary.
He owes us a fishing trip, don't he, Brent?
Well,
remember?
Kev and I said we were going to go,
yeah.
And then loads of other fans around the world, particularly in the States, said they'd come and join us for a crazy Premier League live dinner. I'll tell you about what he's cooking in a second. Always good to hear from Brent, his wife and everybody in the cafe. We'll get back to that in a moment, because as we tick toward 58, Chelsea again are just trying to up the ante. But this big bench of stars. Mikel Mudrik's back on the bench after injury, for example. Madueke's got a goal this season. Palmer, the new signing. Got some options. Are they going to bring somebody on soon? I wonder. And see if there are other big new signings unavailable as yet. Christopher Nkunku would have been a good one from Leipzig, but he's injured. Caicedo over the top, blocked by Joe Worrell. Super Joe Worrell. Oh, he's got a 10 out of 10 rating for me in this game so far. Almost unheard of. He's been nigh on perfect. Here's Gibbs White.
He's almost like an old-fashioned centre-half, isn't he? That's exactly what he is.
Gibbs White then just cleverly ran the ball downfield to earn a bit of time and a breather. Oh dear. Then he gave it out to the left, and in the end it didn't work out for Forest that, because Aina was offside and he lost position as well. To Gusto made the challenge. It'll be a free kick to Chelsea in the end. Chelsea unhappy, I think, that Forest are trying to run down the clock in any way they can by fair means or foul. I haven't even given you the Forest lineup in the second half. I've just realised it's been so busy. Turner in goal, the sensational Worrell, Bolly and McKenna at the back. Danilo off injured for the goal scorer Elanga. Super sub alongside Mangala, Aurier and Aina. Gibbs White, Yates and Awani. There's your lineup with Hovarth, Tavares, Koyate, part of the bench as Chelsea come forward from the far side, but again it's an unconvincing cross from Gusto and it's played downfield. Wood, Felipe, Niakate, Montiel and Aguilera. It's the rest of the Forest bench. We're going to take you to that other goal, Burnley Spurs, as soon as we've had this long throw from Malo Gusto, the young French right wing back of Chelsea, a former Lyon man. Not quite sure what to do. Options are limited. Gallagher gives him the option in the end, plays it back to the 20-year-old. Infield to Thiago. The shaded part of the pitch is now just over half as the sun slowly sets on this late summer, early autumnal, glorious evening still. The Thames in West London. Was that a little shove? Answer is no. Yates won that legally, is the decision. And that means that Forest can come forward and counter. Elanga, the goal scorer, to Awani, the man who set it up. Here is Awani, puts in the cross. Oh, it's too close in the end to Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. Plucks it out of the air, denies Elanga. And Forest on the counter. Everything apart from the final cross from the Nigerian was good. Doesn't work out. Now, Mangala's tackled and loses out to Sterling. He's chopped down. That's going to be a yellow card, I think, this time to Yates. And he can't really argue with that, can he?
Has he already been booked?
Was it Yates? Let's just double check.
Yeah, it's Yates.
I thought he had.
He's been booked, surely.
Let's just double check that. Yates certainly was in a lengthy discussion
the push in the back
in the first half, as in terms of whether or not he was booked. No, I think he got away with it.
Did he?
I think he must have got away with it. There was a long old discussion. Aina certainly went in the book for his one. I think Yates is a lucky boy there, because he trod a tightrope properly in the first half.
I could have,
and that was definitely a yellow. It was almost a yellow plus.
It was, yeah.
It was a very blatant block as he hacked his man down.
I must have been seeing things, Russ. I'm sure he put the yellow card up to him.
Yeah, we are pretty sure he got away with that, but I remember the exact incident you're talking about. Now we're going to see a debut for young Cole Palmer. Such a talented player, part of the England under-21 setup that's done so well of late. Goals for Man City, quality performer. But tell me about this substitution.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, Chilwell's got in some tremendous positions.
So he's coming off.
He's coming off. Now I can only think that he must be carrying a knock.
So the official confirmation was Yates had fouled Jackson. The decision was no yellow card for Yates for the challenge, but a yellow card for Jackson for asking for a yellow card for Yates.
Right, quite bizarre.
So that's what it is.
I can understand that, but it's still a bookable offence, the tackle.
Yeah, so 37 minutes in, Jackson got a yellow for asking for the yellow for the challenge.
Easy
from
for you
Yates
to say.
that could have easily been a yellow, and he's just got a yellow, but he's still on the field.
Yeah.
I hope that clears it up.
I can understand players asking for fellow professionals to be booked is not on, and yes, that can be a yellow.
It when they wave those fake
should
cards.
Be a yellow card.
It
Still doesn't detract from the fact that the initial tackle from Yates was a yellow card.
So Noni Madueke is on for Conor Gallagher, and Cole Palmer is on for Ben Chilwell. Those are the two changes. Madueke, of course, quality young player. He's English, but he's been away on the continent, brought back in, and he's got a goal this season already, got the 11th shirt as well. What can he do in the final few minutes? And we know all about Palmer. I'll tell you a bit more about him in a moment. Here's his first touch as a Chelsea player as he tries to play the ball through as far as Jackson couldn't quite guide it through Cole Palmer, but he's trying to pull the strings, and out-and-out striker probably by trade, but I think he could play as a bit of a link man behind, and at the moment that's what he's doing.
As with all Manchester City players, for us, I think he could play anywhere on the pitch, to be honest. He's got brilliant ability, very, very intelligent footballer.
Yeah.
Anywhere across that front line, or a 10, I think.
Back heel from Caicedo. Nice mazy run from the new man. Really pretty there from Palmer. Edge of the penalty area. Madueke, the other new man, to Caicedo. Back to Madueke. The subs have injected something. Sterling's delivery is just beyond Jackson. Couldn't quite get there. Loose ball picked up and Chelsea come again, but just for a second they were so close to finally unpicking the lock to this resolute Forest defence. Fernandes then pokes one through. Poor ball looking for Palmer, he didn't get there. Disasi then picks it up and lets rip from distance, wearing two. Proper pile driver there that smacks Scott McKenna on the side of the head. The Scott with a brave block between McKenna, Bolly and particularly Worrell. The three of them have been absolutely brilliant, haven't they? This time it's McKenna who got involved, and then Yates makes the eventual clearance.
You certainly can see that they're playing for their manager. You know, backs to the wall stuff at the minute. Chelsea made a couple of changes, seems to have worked. It's injected a bit of oomph into their play, if you like.
Taiwo Awani will not break the record for the most consecutive Premier League games scored in by an African player. Emmanuel Adebayor back in the day and Mo Salah both scored in 7 straight Premier League games. He's already done that. 8 would have equalled Jamie Vardy's actual record, but he's going off. Awani with the assist today, and with one really good chance, particularly in the first half. We don't see the record.
Led the line well. I would say his touch let him down at times today, but then he's contributed massively to the goal with a beautiful little pass. he's probably run his race. It is hard playing up there on your own, especially when it's backs to the wall.
Yeah.
And a good change for me from Cooper.
So he's been replaced by Chris Wood. And a couple of goals now, Burnley Spurs. I'll take you there in a moment, but another goal in the Man City Fulham game as well, intriguingly. Brentford 1, Bournemouth 1 still, and still Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1 here. We're off to Turf Moor and back to the Etihad in a moment as Joe Worrell calmly lets the ball trickle out for a goal kick. More good football, much to the frustration of Moises Caicedo. The £115 million man is left there, very much second best.
Yeah, he's looked good at times, Russ, but a little bit nervy at other times. Got caught up in the goal with Gallagher. Left hand not knowing what the right hand was doing. Lose the ball in the middle of the park. 3-4 seconds later, the ball ends up in the back of your net. There is a player in there. There's certainly a player in there. He's a young lad, and the weight of a transfer fee can weigh heavy on your shoulders.
We've certainly seen that over the years. Well, our stats boys are saying only an 11% win probability rate for Chelsea from here, 60% Forest, and Chelsea a little bit harem-scarem, stretched at the back, tried to play out through a combination of Sanchez, Thiago and Disasi, and they nearly lost that ball, didn't they, to Gibbs-White?
Again, but that's what Forest are playing for. Playing for that counter-attack now.
Bring you some of those goals. Yeah, it was 2-1 previously to Burnley, so we've had 3 more in that game, wow. And 1 more in the Man City game, off to all of those in a second here on Premier League Live. Chelsea coming forward again. Goal down, Chris Wood, by the way, the Kiwi. He's on, wearing 11, already scored this season. Signed, of course, on loan and then permanently from Newcastle. Either side of this campaign and the one prior. Madueke up against Gibbs-White, right edge of the box as far as Palmer. Out of play. Let's take you in a moment to the first of those Burnley Spurs goals, but first we'll get this throw in. Yates doing well under pressure, but Madueke's beaten him. Can McKenna make the challenge? He can, but only Madueke keeps the ball in play to Enzo Fernandez. Right edge of the penalty area for Chelsea. Aina makes the tackle, but then loses out. Yates reads the danger and then smacks it downfield and out of play. Chelsea coming hard, Kev Watson down that right-hand side, but Forest at the moment are doing just about enough to keep them out.
They are many bodies behind the ball. It's a red wall at the moment. Aina trying to be too clever. When it finally comes to late, Yates clearing his lines, you know he's not going to mess around with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gone up into row Z.
Yes, Chelsea won last time out against Luton, but that ended a run of 8 straight Premier League games without a home win. It was only their second win in 15 anywhere in the Premier League. So to be fair, yes, they won that last game, but there were a lot of issues before it, and they're clearly not all fixed. Are they fixed now? Jackson, he goes down desperately trying to see a penalty, does not get it. Nicholas Jackson put through, tried to take the ball around Turner, was struggling, and in the end went wide. He has been booked, but I don't think that was necessarily a full-on dive. It was almost kind of a pathetic fall to turf. Let's have a little look. Ooh, either way, I think he's just offside, so his blushes and his trouble would be spared, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
actually, looking at the replay, he doesn't appeal, but he does start to fall before Turner gets there.
He's not going to get a penalty for that, and he knows, and he gets up straight away.
Yeah, he doesn't appeal, and I think it was narrowly offside, which has also saved him as well. Crikey. Yeah, it's exactly what's happened. Free kick for offside to Nottingham Forest, just outside the edge of their own penalty area. Matt Turner will take it. We'd love a clean sheet. What a statement that would be for he, as Forest number 1 at the moment, and for the club moving forward. Challenge from Colwell, who's been very quiet in this game. He's just understatedly got on with his job, wearing 26, the Young England defender. And when at Brighton last season, sets the platform for this counter through to Cole Palmer, who's running forward. Could have gone to the right to Madueke. He's decided to go himself. Eventually goes to Madueke, but the move's lost a bit of momentum now compared to if he'd given that ball earlier. And in the end, Aina wins it off Noni Madueke, and the ball is about to be cleared by Forest. That said, it's then lost by Forest because Gusto puts in a good challenge on Aina. I just think that Palmer should have given that to his fellow sub a bit earlier.
Yeah,
he wanted it. You could tell he was screaming for it.
I think he should have, yeah. They're knocking on the door, Chelsea, without really creating a chance.
And Colwell, having not really mentioned him much, is suddenly getting more involved. Maybe he's been told to get a bit more forward, use that imposing physical kind of attribute that he's got. Good tough challenge, helps set the platform. Sterling to Jackson, left edge of the penalty area, digs in the cross, but it's too easily read. Turner makes the claim, and we'll stop for another pause in play for a moment. But again, Chelsea asking the questions, but they don't quite have enough of a direct, potent threat. Was 2-1 Burnley Spurs last time we were with you. This then happened.
Maddison, 20 yards from goal, plenty of space to shoot, will shoot, and will absolutely bury it. James Maddison has had a glittering start to his Tottenham Hotspur career, and he's added another goal here today.
OK, that was one goal from Matt Drabble. We've got a couple more. I think we can bring you another because Serge Aurier is still down bearing treatment. So it was 3-1 Burnley Spurs. Then this happened.
Solomon behind the Burnley back line, Maddison in the middle, so too is Son, and it's 4. How about this from Tottenham Hotspur? They are shimmering in Burnley.
And it was 4-1 Burnley Spurs until this happened.
Maddison threading one through to Porro looking behind for Son. He's on a hat-trick. He's one-on-one with Trafford. He's got a hat-trick. It's 5 for Tottenham Hotspur. It's 3 for Heung-min Son.
Wow, Heung-min Son gets the job done. Matt Drabble is a busy commentator, and Ange Postecoglou is getting a proper tune out of your old team.
I've often been their harshest critic, having been there. Especially under the Conte regime, and the football they served up, Russ really couldn't handle it at all. But what I've seen of this team, and I thought they'd go up there and win today, I didn't expect it to be this handsomely. But we've caught glimpses on the monitor when there's been breaks in play here at Stamford Bridge this afternoon, and they look incredibly impressive.
Look very, very good. 5-1. Has been another goal in the Man City Fulham match, which we'll bring you in just a second. Serge Aurier is not going to be able to continue. He's played well. We've made that point a couple of times in our commentary, but in the end, he cannot continue. And Gonzalo Montiel will come on, Argentina defender, on loan from Sevilla. He comes on, just triple checking for a club debut. Yep, he's on to see this one through. A couple more changes about to happen as well. Aina and Mangala are going to come off as well. 1 or 2 tiring bodies. Tavares comes on, Kouyate comes on. That's Cheikh Kouyate, formerly of West Ham, of course, and of Palace. And Nuno Tavares, the Portuguese, on loan from Arsenal. He comes on for a club debut as well. I think we're going to be saying club debut for both of these clubs an awful lot in the coming weeks, aren't we? Because there's 2 more for Forest there.
I think we are indeed. But they've put in a real shift today, Forest. A real shift. They've run their socks off, run themselves into the ground. And it's no wonder they're making changes now.
So plenty of changes for these final few minutes. 73 gone. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. This game still very, very much alive. Remember, 5-1. Spurs now lead at Burnley. Still 1-1 Brentford Bournemouth. Was 2-1 Man City Fulham. Couple more goals have now gone in that one. Earlier 2-2 Sheffield United Everton, as we heard from Toby Gillis last night. West Ham went top for a while with a 2-1 win at Luton in their first home game finally in the Premier League, but they're not going to be top for long because of what Man City are doing, and to a degree Spurs as well. Fair play to both. And at 5:30 Brighton Newcastle, Tom Reddy and David Connolly to look forward to as well. Chelsea edging forward. Brent Parker with some glorious looking burgers today. Some really nice sides as well. Great to catch Russ and Kev on the call, as I said, but breakfast burgers enjoying the games as ever. Interesting scores. I hope that my Arsenal can do the double over Man United like last year. Hoping for a big win tomorrow. Come on you Gunners, says Brent, a massive Arsenal fan at Talksport Live. Keep that coming. A few more tweets to read out in a second as well. Forest down the right hand side looking for Enzo Fernandez. It was the new man Palmer who tried to free the Argentine, but it's beyond his reach and out for another goal kick. Cole Palmer, of course, scored in the Community Shield at Wembley for Man City as they lost to Arsenal on penalties. Scored in the European Super Cup when they won that eventually. Scored a really nice goal there as well. And he scored in both kind of pre-season showpieces. What more can you ask for?
Well, exactly right, and that's why I'm surprised that he's been let go. Really am surprised. But Pep often comes up with some curious decisions regarding players.
Yeah, it was a big call, and a lot of Man City fans were really unhappy to see one of their own go as well. They, I think, really thought he might be one that they could identify with and really go through the years with, like Rico Lewis as a fullback as well. Those two probably of this current crop.
Yeah, so that's why I'm surprised, but he obviously deems him surplus to requirements.
Not to be was the decision. On he went, and he's talked about getting more first-team opportunities, a proper chance to really prove himself at his new club. We'll see if he can do so. It's pretty lively so far. He's taken a central position here as Chelsea come forward again. Fernandes to Modueke. Over the top, but overhit again. There's no chance whatsoever for Caicedo to get to that. It was the through ball from Gusto, fed by Modueke, and they've got a corner out of it, but it was not convincing at all, was it?
It wasn't, no.
Very lucky to get a fourth corner of the game. Forest winning 1-0, haven't had a corner all match, by the way. But the main stat is they lead 1-0. Corner from the far side. Cheikhou Kouyaté on wearing 8, gets it to partial safety. Gusto through to Palmer, left edge of the penalty area, blocked by Kouyaté, no corner either. The Senegalese does mightily well to keep that in play. Morgan Gibbs-White then wins the ball in the air, pirouetting high into the evening sunshine. Sanchez, nice delivery from the Chelsea goal. Big former Brighton keeper, £25 million signing to another former Brighton man wearing 25, Caicedo, the £115 million man, but he overhits his pass to Jackson. He's got no chance, and it trickles out of play. And Elanga, our goal scorer, I'm happy to see that one go out. That wasn't the touch of most expensive player in the country, was it?
It's just hopeful, though. It's just hopeful from Chelsea at the minute. There doesn't look any conviction in their play.
We'll see another substitution on will come. Double check who is coming on for this one. Mudryk and Maatsen. A double substitution for Chelsea. So Mykhailo Mudryk injured and out of the squad with a minor niggle for the last game. Another big money signing, don't forget, last season. The Ukrainian comes on wearing 10. And then Ian Maatsen's an interesting story. The young Dutchman, all but left on loan for Burnley last night. From what I read, didn't really want to go. The decision was made, keep him, because he'd been in and around the squad. He played a couple of games off the bench already. Fancied his chances here at the Bridge. So Maatsen staying with the squad. He is on with Mudryk. Can one of those, Kev, find a way for Chelsea to get an equaliser?
Well, they're going to have to. They're running out of time. I say they're running out of time. Who knows how long we're going to get in terms of added time.
And it's Gusto and Caicedo off. Those Caicedo off.
He's had a patchy game, I would say.
Ball over the top to Jackson. Brings it down nicely. Half cleared by Bolly. Only as far as Madueke. Tries a shot from a congested part of the penalty area on the left side, to put it mildly, and as you say, super communal defending by Forest rearguard.
3 of them round the ball there, blocking that shot.
Great work from Forest once again. Only had one clean sheet in 12 now. Chelsea 1 in 13 as they look to try and equalise here. Appeals for another penalty. Is this one going to be given? Jackson has gone down. Answer is no. It was up against Worrell, who can do no wrong. Cross from the left-hand side. Early delivery from Maatsen, the new man. Credit the cross, it was really nice. Let's take a little look at this.
No, nothing in that for me.
Worrell on Jackson. There's a collision between the two. The ball maybe ricochets up onto Worrell, but I agree, I don't think you can give that as a penalty. More good Joe Worrell defending. Seen so much of it over the course of this game. He has been excellent.
Forest fans behind the goal away to our left singing his name, and rightfully so. He's been the man of the match for me. You don't always have to have the glittering silky skills to win that accolade, but he has put his body on the line for the tricky trees today without shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. I completely agree with you. Very, very impressed. Only won in one of their last 15 Premier League London derbies, Nottingham Forest. One back at Crystal Palace in March 1999. What a long wait there as well. Can they win in England's capital, I wonder? 79.5 gone. They've got an awful lot of clinging on still to go. Madueke to Palmer, the new man. Cole Palmer, ex-Man City. Fernandes. It's bent in looking for Mudryk, who tried to turn on the penalty spot, couldn't get his shot away. Cleared downfield by Forrest, and tempers are boiling over. The frustration is bubbling for Chelsea. Colwell this time has fouled his man. Has a word at the ref as well. He hacks down Morgan Gibbs-White. Free kick given. He then has a word with Robinson, and with the new barrier for kind of verbal abuse of refs, that could have been a yellow card, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could have been. And as he walked past the ref, he sort of brushed shoulders and barged into him. Whether that was with intent or not, probably wasn't, but it doesn't matter. He's treading a tightrope behaving like that.
I'd say Pochettino will not be happy at all, not just clearly with the scoreline. One or two of his players, like Colwell, given a big chance this season to start at the back, losing his head slightly, letting frustration get the better of him. Here's Elanga hugging the dead ball line, tried to take it right-footed, open up his body, tried to play one along that dead ball line. In the end, too close to the keeper. Robert Sanchez made the block. He bowls it out. As far as Maatsen, who's been very busy since coming on. Brilliant challenge from, guess who? Joe Worrell. Is he? I think he's certainly a 9. I think he's. Why isn't he a 10? I don't think he's done anything wrong in this game.
No, it hasn't.
It's been a superhuman performance as they look for a second. Nottingham Forest. Gibbs-White slotted it through, and in the end, Sanchez got there just ahead of the on-rushing Forest forward line. Had to knock it downfield. Forest come again through Tavares. Nice cross from Nuno Tavares. I know from his time at Arsenal, not always the best defensively, but passionate and with a really powerful left boot on him. That cross had some meat.
He did. I think he should do better with it, though, to be fair.
So we've got a couple of goals to bring you from Man City, and there's been another goal in the Brentford-Bournemouth game as well. Very interesting. We'll go to all of those in a second. It's still Burnley 1, Spurs 5. 1-0 Forest still here. Forest's a long wait for all the reasons we've told you during the game. Is it going to be over? They're going to get an away win in the Premier League. Are they going to do it in London? And are they going to do it here at Stamford Bridge? They've won another free kick as well. Let's head up the Thames then to the Community Stadium. Brentford-Bournemouth was 1-1.
A real chance for a break here, Marcus Tavernier, but my word, that man is rapid. This ball back, this time by Henry. He was rapid. Tavernier going to go square. Is this 2-1? It is 2-1. David Brooks, what a story. That young man has battled fabulous. So bravely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been wonderful to have him back this season. And he's got a goal. That's an absolutely superb story. So pleased for David Brooks. And Welshman on target. Bournemouth leading at Brentford. Not what we saw coming at all. What to Kev Watson and I know.
I also said Man City wouldn't destroy Fulham this afternoon.
Which they weren't for a while.
No, they wasn't. No.
And Brentford were winning for a while. They've all changed. We're off to the Etihad in a second. Palmer, nice through ball to Sterling. Beats his man, bearing down Worrell's challenge. It's over the bar from Jackson. Sterling did all the hard work. Worrell made the block. The ball fell to the edge of the 6-yard box. To be fair, he did have to stretch for it, Nicholas Jackson. But he still should have scored, the striker. Stuck out his boot and in the end fired it about a yard over the bar. What a chance. You've got to score from there. I don't care if you're stretching. You've got to score. He doesn't, and Chelsea is still behind Kev Watson.
Well, Sterling does brilliant down the right-hand side, pulls it back. For once, Joe Worrell couldn't quell the Chelsea attack. And yeah, I thought he was being a little bit lenient saying he was stretching. That has got to make the net bulge. He is 4 yards out. I don't care if you're stretching. Just get yourself over the ball and put the ball in the net. That is a glaring opportunity, and now they are really running out of time, Chelsea.
And as we see it on the big screen from various replays, that's probably the miss of the early season, or close to it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Nicholas Jackson, open goal, misses. OK, let's go back to the Etihad. It was 2-1 Fulham last time we checked in.
And now Rodri, still 40 yards from goal, feeds it neatly into Alvarez, who finds Erling Haaland into the left-hand corner. His first goal at the Etihad Stadium in 5 games.
Erling Haaland getting that one. There has been another goal there, which I think we can possibly bring you quickly now. Let's do it.
Erling Haaland from the penalty spot, up against Bernd Leno. Haaland fires it into the left-hand corner. And Manchester City have 4.
Ben Jacobs, your commentator. Haaland missed a penalty the other day, didn't he? He did. Scored straight after, pretty much. But 2 today for him. Unstoppable. Son with a hat-trick. Unstoppable. He bang up to date with all our goals. Great work as ever from our production team here at Premier League Live. Man City 4, Fulham 1. Bournemouth 2-1 up now at Brentford. Burnley 1, Spurs 5. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1, as we tick toward 85 minutes. I think we'll have a fair bit of time added on. Chelsea, with all these changes, come forward but lose the ball again. Anthony Elanga, the Swede, ex-Man U, on, scored what could be the winner. Tries to take it around the wily old fox that is Thiago Silva. He makes the interception and plays it downfield to Madueke, who's running at another of the new men, Nuno Tavares. And I mentioned to you that Tavares, defensively, not always brilliant. Stretch there and pretty desperate lunge.
Yeah, he's going to find himself in the book for that tackle as well. He may ask why.
I think we know why, don't we?
We know why, yeah.
Yeah, he was beaten for pace. He's physical, but when you're in a foot race and you're struggling, all he can do is desperately try to haul your man down and get away with it. He did not get away with it. Timothy Wareham, listening in Arizona, enjoying the commentary. Good to hear from you. That's Talksport Live. Keep your tweets coming in. Sean C. Nolan, loving listening to you lads as I drive through New Mexico, USA.
Wow.
Lovely picture there of the
that.
desert with an azure blue sky. There must be clouds in his Sirius satellite radio. Ball goes loose. Oh, what a save! What a save from Turner to deny Thiago. Thiago, it fell to the veteran Brazilian, let rip from 6 yards out. Close angle. And Turner this time makes the save. For once, the Forest defence is caught napping. And it's a really, really good block. Hastily taken delivery from the corner by Chelsea. A matter of urgency. Can't get their shot away from Palmer. Aided by Sterling. The new man puts the cross in. Maatsen, who's been busy. Back to Palmer. Ricochet off Tavares. Back as far as Ian Maatsen again. 21-year-old Dutchman. Shot from distance from Mudryk. Really powerful shot from Mudryk. Smacks, I think it was Yates on the side of the head. It's all but knocked Yates out. We know that Mudryk's got a powerful shot on him. Forest man is down, and he'll receive treatment for basically being bashed on the side of the head at great speed with the ball from Mykhailo Mudryk.
Well, he did hit that, didn't he? There was some power behind that strike. But we get back to the Thiago Silva chance. It was a really good touch. But then for me, shoot across goal. Here it comes again. Great little ball into the near post. Good touch from Thiago Silva. Really good touch. We know the quality he has. But can he try and get that across goal? Perhaps not with the angle he was at.
Wow, really, really good chance. Chelsea have certainly had, I would say, Kev, some better opportunities as the game has progressed, and somehow by a combination of the odd little bit of luck, the odd poor missed chance, obviously Jackson being the most obvious, and some absolute stalwart defending by Forest, combination of all of them have just about won the day so far, haven't they? It's been fascinating.
You wouldn't argue that they've deserved this. All right, they've offered not next to nothing, but very little in an attacking sense. Hit Chelsea with a sucker punch, counter-attack, brilliantly worked. But the way they've defended, the way they've organised themselves, got themselves back into a really good shape, has been admirable.
Madueke in field to Palmer. Maatsen, shot blocked by McKenna as far as Palmer, but he can't control the ball on the right edge of the box, and Elanga, our goal scorer, brings it clear for Nottingham Forest and beats his man quite beautifully. That was Thiago who'd come downfield and was beaten with ease. Shot from Elanga on target. Unbelievably good run, but in the end, right at the death, should he have gone wide?
I think so. He never looked comfortable taking the shot on there. Just keep the ball, wind the clock down. Real good chance for Forest there.
Mark Moore, listening from Canada, enjoying the coverage. Adam saying this is going to give us something to talk about in the international break. You're absolutely right. Loads to talk about as Palmer goes over the top looking for Mudryk, but it's overhit. And the Ukrainian tries to take the ball in his stride on the edge of the 6-yard box. He can't get there, and it trickles out for a goal kick. And that is right where the Forest fans are. They are loving seeing that ball coming out for a goal kick in front of them, a goal to the good.
Yeah, it's the right idea. Just an overhit pass from Cole Palmer there. Mudryk couldn't get his outstretched right foot onto it.
We'll know for sure in a minute, but I'm hearing there'll be an additional 8 minutes.
There you go. We knew that something like that was coming.
So we will have plenty more play, ladies and gentlemen, fear not. And then of course we'll review all of this quickly, then build up to our 5:30 UK kickoff. Tom Rennie, David Connolly, Brighton, Newcastle. But West Ham won at Luton last night. Sheffield United and Everton, they drew 2-2 a little earlier. Still Man City leading Fulham 4-1. Bournemouth is still 2-1 up at Brentford. That's in the 92nd of 96. And Spurs 5-1 up at Burnley. Did they get behind? I can't remember. It feels so long ago.
Yeah, they
did, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was like a lifetime ago, that. There's so much happening. We've had the least goals in our game. Not a great first half, but the second brought us a goal. It's been really exciting. And there's still so much at play here. Pressure on Chelsea as Madueke finds Sterling out to Mudryk. Shock of blonde hair. Infield to Sterling. Now to Fernandez, but it took Sterling too long to play it to the midfielder. And by the time he did, he undercooked the pass as well. Yates made the challenge. There was no synergy there at all.
Nope.
And officially, it is 98 minutes. We tick into the 91st of them. Thiago downfield to Cole Palmer. Not the debut he would have liked. He's done fine, but to come on and see his team be losing at home to Forest, not ideal. Out to the right side, and Mudryk running at the new man Tavares, who's yellow carded, don't forget. Madueke's been busy since he come on, looking for a second of the season. He's running at Tavares, crossed in field looking for Sterling, and that excellent three-man Forest defence is more than happy to hoof the ball downfield and earn another breather and a throw. Just shy of halfway. Message to our broadcast partners, who will be extending this broadcast by at least 5 minutes due to the added on time. Not the first time we've said that this season, nor will it be the last. Maatsen picks up the loose ball midway inside the Forest half. Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Second of 8 additional minutes. Fernandez over the top. Run, not picked up. And in the end, Forest work the ball downfield, but Elanga can't win that one. Maatsen does. Madueke plays it to Sterling again. Is that going to be a corner? Yes, it is. With a block from Yates on the right edge of the penalty area, but couldn't dive in and make a risky tackle on Raheem Sterling. He's happy, Kevin, to concede yet another Chelsea corner.
Yeah, he's been a bundle of energy. He always walks the tightrope, doesn't he? Plays right on the threshold, Yates, but he's done a brilliant job today.
Outswinging corner, looking for Disasi. Sorry to interrupt, but it didn't fall to Disasi. I think it was McKenna that time who got ahead to it, just ahead of the big Frenchman. Sanchez right downfield, the Chelsea goalkeeper, to halfway. To Maatsen. Now, again, to young Cole Palmer. Mudryk's cross, well blocked on the far side by Elanga. Right by the corner flag. Decision is throw rather than corner. Anthony Elanga has been full of running since he's come on.
He has, he's done well. He's a ball carrier, isn't he? And that's what you need when you're under pressure. Instead of just whacking it away and giving the ball directly back to your opposition, can you get someone who can carry you up the pitch with the ball?
Answer, it would seem, is yes. Mudryk left-footed cross this time, tries to in-swing it and vary the delivery. Yates was equal to it. Gibbs White has lost out to Fernandez, who turns neatly. He plays a 1-2 with Maatsen. Enzo Fernandez right-footed cross. McKenna gets it partially clear. Elanga tries to help him as well. Again, Forest get it about 10 or 15 yards downfield, but no more. Maatsen to Silva, to Madueke, as far as Sterling. Tavares this time with the block. Now Elanga tries to beat Madueke, but he wins it up against Tavares. He then wins it back, and Elanga's again got a chance to try and clear the ball. He tries to play pretty football though. Loses out to Cole Palmer. Forest had a chance to get the ball rid properly downfield. They didn't take it. Ball crossed in only as far as McKenna, who heads it downfield. The Scot, 93 of 98 gone. Still Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1. If you are just joining us around the world, a pleasure to bring you this commentary to our global audience in the Premier League. So many great places that take our coverage, that love the Premier League. We love bringing it to you. Here's Jackson. Didn't shoot. It's that sitter earlier in the half. Wins a corner here though, back to goal. Thought about trying to get a shot on target from a tight angle. Probably did the right thing there with a lack of support and a tight angle, and at least Kev gets the corner kick.
Yeah, and another corner on that right hand side for the home team, but they are running out of time now. We've got 4 minutes left. They need to find something, Chelsea, and they need to find it very, very quickly now.
Another corner to Chelsea, which Mudryk will take. It's a deep delivery. Diarcy's up there, headed clear by Chris Wood, who's not had the chance to do much since he came on, the big veteran New Zealand striker. But what he did do there was help win the ball defensively and do a good job for his team. Again, though, Forest can only get it partially clear. Another cross in from Palmer, flicked on. Sterling and Mudryk, though, at 6s and 7s, they leave it for each other, and with Chelsea putting men downfield, Forest can now counter. Elanga still running, beats one, beats two. Anthony Elanga, he's forced wide by the backtracking Mudryk, one of the two to miscommunicate to lose the ball in the first place. He's then beaten. Audacious skill from Elanga, and what a shot A glorious turn from Anthony Elanga. Had no room in which to operate, no right to turn and get his shot in. He did. It was saved point blank by Sanchez and stays out. Chelsea come forward again. But wow, what football from Elanga and from Forest.
Really, really good. He done what I thought he should have done earlier on, just before the 90 minutes. This time he can't go directly to goal, takes it out towards the corner flag. Chelsea think the danger's gone, but no, manages to work his way inside with brilliant skill, gets his shot off. A good save from Sanchez at the near post, but that's better from Elanga.
95 of 98 done. Burnley, by the way, have pulled one back against Spurs, 5-2 with moments to go. We'll bring you that in our full-time roundup, of course, after 5 o'clock UK. Another in-swinging delivery. Headed clear once again by Forest, though. Gibbs White was back out, helping defensively. Madueke's in-swinging ball. Out for another Chelsea throw. 3 to go at the Etihad. City still lead 4-1 as Chelsea put in another cross. Looking for Thiago up there. Jackson's up there. Sterling! Wide! Raheem Sterling let rip, looking for a 32 games. A 32 against Forest as well. You thought for all the world 10 yards out he'd score. On the half volley, Raheem Sterling just wide.
Yeah, big chance. Just drags it, doesn't he? Another Forest body throwing himself on the line to put Sterling off, and he does put him off. He drags it. He needs to hit that, cut across it, hit a bit of a fade, and instead he drags it and draws it the other way, if you like, to use a golf terminology.
Really late goal in the Brentford-Bournemouth game. That's finished 2-2 in the end. Crikey. So Brentford did get at least a point, which is something. All the others either done or finishing. Brighton-Newcastle to come in just over half an hour. But we've still got 90 seconds plus here at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea, they had that one win against Luton. That aside, they're really poor form in the Premier League generally, and particularly at home. Is it going to re-emerge and basically continue? They've got to somehow find a way, Kevin. I'm not sure they're going to do it.
Puff, but that's about it this afternoon from Chelsea. That was a big chance for Sterling, but they've very rarely carved Forest open, if at all.
Over the top, sorry to interrupt, to Sterling again over his shoulder on the right-hand side. But again, he can't get his shot away. Well done, the youngster. I've got to say, Ian Matson's looked good since he's come on, but tried to feed Sterling. Not as good a chance as the one a moment ago. Tiniest of nibbles, I've got to say, from Nuno Tavares.
Swing and a miss, wasn't it, from Sterling?
Not enough of a nibble for a
penalty.
Great
ball, to be fair.
Oh, goodness me. About 35 seconds plus maybe a teeny bit more to be added on for the extras during the time added on. Finished 5-2, Burnley Spurs. City, I think, have got another very late on and lead Fulham 5-1. 2-2 in the end. Brentford Bournemouth. Earlier Sheffield United 2, Everton 2. We tick down here. Sun's still shining down, but it's not shining in a prophetic sense for Chelsea. They are about to lose this game unless they can do something absolutely miraculous with a final Hail Mary. Quarterback style, desperation right at the end. Long ball downfield from Enzo Fernandez, desperately trying to find Madueke. It's hacked to safety by a tiring Forest, who've covered every blade of this Stamford Bridge turf in heroic fashion. They're almost at walking pace now. Chelsea forward one more time. Is that the full-time whistle? The fans thought it was, the players thought it was. It wasn't. We play on, says Tim Robinson. Chelsea come again, turning is Sterling on the right edge of the box. Ball won, then lost, and Yates knocks it downfield. Surely that will be enough. That is enough. Nottingham Forest have won at Chelsea for the first time in 15 attempts, for the first time since 1995. My goodness. Best part of 30 years of hurt in this fixture ends, and Forest make a massive statement and inflict one almighty wound on Mauricio Pochettino's Chelsea. The Blues, all their new faces, all the money spent, still the consistency is lacking, still the fans are frustrated, and Pochettino walks away a disconsolate figure. All the credit's got to go to Steve Cooper's team, who've defended heroically. Their goal from Elanga was wonderful. He was lights out coming off the bench. To a man, Forest deserved their win. It's a historic one here at the Bridge, where it's finished Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1 on Premier League Live. Incredible stuff. Kev, just your quick thoughts on all of that.
Brilliant. Camera panned to Joe Worrell there at the end of the game. Elanga got the winning goal, yes. But that man at the heart of Forest's back three today was immense. Superhuman performance. He was defending throwing his body on the line, running past people to get blocks. Outstanding Forest all round today.
Plenty more from Kev Watson in a moment as we look back on all of the action and start to preview our next game, of course, Brighton-Newcastle. But here, Chelsea 0, Nottingham Forest 1 on Premier League Live.